good.
Indeed.
So, previously in Eridon, you, as the Forsaken Winds, were promoted to unique ranks in the newly formed United Kin Army as Paragon, Dragoon, Tactician, Magus, and Bravura. You discussed various ways of engaging in the creation war with the Moot leaders, though it was emphasized that due to recent actions, it was fairly urgent that For's Hollow needs to be secured first as sort of a launching ground into the further war theater. After the Moot meeting, you were all able to spend your evening mingling with your allies and seeing to personal matters. And you all gathered around Toby Rama as he cast Legend Lore on the Forsaken's Medallion, which gave some insight into its fairly ancient history. And then, as you all settled down for the night, Minerva and Mathros visited you. Minerva showing some interest in the Forsaken's Medallion, and Toby Rama, upon sort of confirming that he held it, she dropped her illusory form, as did Mathros, to reveal a series of devils who also immediately conjured into being some other little grunt devils, spined devils to be specific. So now, in the middle of the night, surrounded by an army of beast folk and bird folk and mooncrest elves, a familiar Oni Hellfiend and its chain devil and spine devil companions have very brazenly invaded your encampment. And many of you, not all of you, but many of you, are considered surprised in this moment. But I would like everyone to please roll initiative here.
Holy cow. Nice.
No.
Oh, I didn't. Amateur mistake. I didn't click my token.
I also
get
did
you
not
added.
click mine. My bad.
It's
All
been
good.
so
I'll get you
long.
added.
Been a while.
Been a
Toby,
while.
does it show your first roll since you rolled with advantage? Or does
If
it...
you hover over it. So I got a 15 and a 13.
Ah, I see how it works. That's
And
I've
then
never
two.
seen it like that.
It usually doesn't when I click on D&D Beyond, but for initiative it does that.
Oh, huh.
All right. Who didn't get in initiative? Roulette, I need to add a turn for you, correct?
Yeah, I rolled a big fiver.
5 total. And you, Rome?
Just be switched to a 9.
What was that?
You just need to be switched to a 9.
9, yeah.
9.
Whoa, the turn order thing is new.
I know. It looks like it's updated a little bit.
It looks
And I can
nicer, yeah.
Sort descending. Yeah, there we go.
Whoa.
Does it look like everyone's successfully in here?
I'm on the bottom.
I will also say, for our tactician with his new ability, you are welcome to use your new capability, but not this first round while you are surprised.
This is so exciting.
So,
You out of the initiative that you're at.
as to start the combat, the Oni Hellfiend had read from a scroll that summoned into being via flashes of fire and ember many of these smaller spined devils that all appear wielding these pitchforks and are small sort of imp-like creatures with many spined barbs down their back and wings and tail. And then this chain devil who has just chains draped around his entire body and a mask of strange chains covering most of his face, has just reached upward in your tent, and chains animate around the tent. But to start, the Oni Hellfiend will command, "You all, she has one as well, it would seem, in the tent. I will focus on this one. You two, hinder any reinforcements." And several of the spine devils sort of chatter in infernal language that I don't believe any of you understand. And so to begin, This one will push past its ally and make way into the tent, and will spend its action to investigate its surroundings. I'm going to say 18 is good enough to find Rome wherever you store your Divinor vase near you. It's rifling through your stuff. You're awakened to the sound of combat. All four of you in the tent are awakened. Toby Rama, you are not surprised, and Roulette, a specific mechanical ally of yours, is not technically surprised as well. But the rest of you are. The Spine Devil, Rome, you awake to see it like perusing through your things. It's pitchfork in hand, and you see it like as it pulls back a small bit of like burlap cloth and sees, not grabbing yet, your Divinor vase. With its, that was its action, so it can't do anything else yet. It will stay there.
So it's
And
holding my Divinor vase?
It has just sort of like discovered it. It's not currently grasping it or anything.
Okay.
Then this Spine Devil will fly, pushing past its ally as well, and joining the fray inside the tent.
Oh, God.
It is tight.
It is indeed.
It's getting tight in here, yeah.
This one will fly about 20 feet into the air, more like 15 feet into the air, and will shoot. You see their tails have these spine barbs on them, and with a lash of its tail, it shoots two of these little barbs down at Toby Rama.
Okay. I have my bow out, not my shield.
Okay.
Which means that will hit me.
Okay. 17 to hit, and it will do... Did that roll? Oh, that just rolled really well. 11 total damage on that one.
Okay.
Or 2 with its tail spines, and so another attack with its tail spine. I'm assuming an 8 though will miss. But this barb just juts into your shoulder, and you just can feel the little bit of inflammation going on, almost like whatever venom is contained in these spines ignites your blood for just a brief second. Otherwise, it is your turn, Toby Rama.
Okay. For my action, my wings come out, and I light up the surrounding area a little bit. Actually, let me check
Let's
out if
drag those onto the screen. Actually, I'm going to do something here. I should do this by like default. But let's do this. Yeah, I don't know what your radius on your wings is, or if it even specifies that there is one, but I actually don't know if it does. Maybe it does.
It doesn't say so in the feature. I wonder. D&D Beyond has been weird with that feature though in the past. It like has different wording than the feature in the book, but that is my action. I will then, as a bonus action, take my bow and fire a radiant bolt and cast my flying arrow at 4th level.
Wow. Where would you like to place it? Actually, I think you have control of it, so I've just put it on the map. You locate it where you would like it.
So I'll do that.
Ooh,
and
make circles.
And I think we have established that it can use flanking. It can't grant flanking.
It can benefit from flanking, but cannot grant flanking. Yes.
So it will make an attack against the Oni.
Okay. With advantage.
Cool. Where's my dice? No way. 2 plus 10. I assume 12 does not hit.
12 does not hit. You see, you fire it, and it sort of like spirals and loops behind her and stabs her, and she just looks up behind her, grabs it, and tosses it, and it just continues to hover right behind her, but she literally caught the magic of your arrow.
I rolled a 1 and a 2 with advantage. I will then fly straight up my full movement, 30 feet.
Okay. As you leave her reach, because she is on the ground with you, she will try and swipe out at you with one of her wicked implements.
I will use my reaction to leave behind a illusory double as I'm invisible.
And become invisible?
30 feet in the
Wow.
air where I am.
Very cool. So she slashes through you and then looks confused as your form just sort of disapparates. And she looks frustrated.
30 feet
You
in
are
the
now
air.
higher elevation than this spine devil that is flapping about 20 feet in the air.
Okay, that is my turn.
Okay.
Yeah, just a quick question. You said at some point we were awoken by either the sound of the Oni saying something or the devils coming into the thing.
Correct. Yeah, there's been enough noise in this situation that you're all stirring and getting up. You just are sort of delayed with the surprise condition.
I guess I will just, if I can use like some, as I'm flying, a chance to shout and just try and scream and shout, assault on the camp, and like as loud as I can manage.
You are also sort of a glowing beacon 30 feet up in the air right now as well for potential people in the vicinity to see. This Spine Devil, under strict orders from the Oni Hellfiend, will dash off screen. Then this Spine Devil will also fly flapping past its Chain Devil ally into the tent within
My God.
Movement of Rome, and it will try and reach for the Divinor vase. Hang on one second.
They want the Divinor.
Problem is they're going to get to go before Rome again anyway, because
oh my God, surprise!
the first one who saw it will get to go grab at it.
Well, no, because he found it, and now the other one is already like found it. Like,
Well, this one is, yeah. If this one doesn't get it,
Critter just said, "Oh my God." Well, the DM's away. Let's skip all their turns.
what?
They don't get a turn.
How much do you guys want me to focus on mind reading this Oni while she's here?
I'm making another intelligence check because
to me that's some really valuable intel we could get, but that's me not attacking.
Dude, relax, that's brutal.
No, this was me trying to avoid metagaming.
I'd say if we can clear out the little peons, then I'd say I'm, totally go for it. Try and extract info.
I'm just worried she's gonna teleport away.
I also have banishment prepared. I might try and use on her.
Intelligence check at advantage. Neither broke a 7.
Oh.
I don't think I'm gonna ever have a turn this combat, so
I'll lift you up after this one.
Yeah, that's pretty good initiative for you, Telperion.
Yours?
No, yours. Like,
well, I was just gonna
on average.
I was gonna go up to yours so I can go before the Oni.
What does surprise technically mean?
We skip our first round of combat.
I also think they get advantage on attacks against us.
No, I want to know.
No, that's just
specifically surprise.
Conditions you can do.
We also can't use reactions until we're no longer surprised.
Doesn't say anything about bonus actions.
Apologies for the delay. Mary was letting me know some kind of crazy.
Oh no, wrong thing.
Where were we? This Spine Devil is coming up to Rome. In Rome, you don't really have a reaction to use, so it's going to try and lean over you and grab at the vase that its ally is pointing to, and it's going to grasp it and start to leave.
Wait, it's attached to me.
Is it attached to you when you sleep? Because you guys are all sleeping.
I'm imagining that it's like a part of my, like it's like hanging from my side. That's how I usually keep it.
If you are intentionally saying that is always the case, that's okay.
Yeah.
Just know that you guys are sleeping, so you're not geared up in the normal way you would be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it will then use a grapple attempt to try and pull it free from your attachment. So with that in mind, even though you don't have a reaction to use, this will be a contested grapple check by the Spined Devil. So it's going to make an athletics check, and you can use either your athletics or acrobatics to try and resist.
I'll use my acrobatics to resist.
Okay.
So that's not like a save, that's just a proficiency, right?
Just not even proficiency unless you have proficiency. It's just either basically an athletics or dex check.
I mean, like the skill. Okay, yeah.
The skill check. Yeah.
My bad.
So with its first grab, an 11 will be 7. So it is able to pull it free from you, and then it is going to start flapping and flying away with it.
And I'm still asleep at this point in time?
Not asleep. You're woken up. You just don't. You're surprised in this moment, so you just don't have a reaction to like lash out with it.
Got it. Okay.
So it will start flapping back to the Oni Hellfiend excitedly, and end its turn there.
Is there any way to mark the one that has, just so that can we
Sure,
like put
yeah.
or something just so that I know
Yep.
which one?
Absolutely, good idea.
Does a 10 hit?
10 does not hit, but what strikes out at it with its reaction?
The garbage can lid, just like a little spine, like tries to poke out at it, just not passively, but like as a reactionarily.
Yeah, instinctively, sure. Yeah, that's great. But you see this one marked with pink is currently holding Rome's small Divinor vase. And it is the Chain Devil's turn now. It has animated these chains, and now will use them to attempt to grapple all 4 individuals in the tent. So I need all of you guys to make a dexterity saving throw, which you do have disadvantage on because you're prone.
Eeg.
DC is 14.
Yeah.
Wait, is that disadvantage you said?
Disadvantage.
Okay, my bad. Oh,
You got an 8.
No.
Fail, and
3
crit nat ones. That's
Cat
incredible.
ones, baby.
Holy.
I wanna re-roll. I wanna use an inspiration to re-roll the 1.
Okay, you are welcome to do that.
So I'm just gonna roll again regularly.
Yeah, just a single roll. No.
All right, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm also gonna expend inspiration.
Okay.
What was my other roll? Is it worth it?
No.
Same thing. Oh my god. You had 3 and 11, I think, really.
It was fate that all of us got fucked.
Yes, as you guys are starting to prepare and get up and get ready, just chains lash through the walls of this tent and just wrap around you. And that is the Chain Devil's turn.
Oh, that's so fucked, though.
The Oni Hellfiend, frustrated looking up at Toby Rama, who disappeared, looks with a grin, and you just see her jagged, sharp maw of mangled teeth just extend as she grins, and she pulls out another spell scroll and begins to read it in infernal chanting. And as it incinerates upon its use, whipping into being in front of her, almost like an air elemental exists, and it's shown, but it's like a hint of red, like heat, energy. And as its form, very loosely humanoid, puts its arms together and expands them, dark magic just forms the shape of this like amorphous translucent box, and it opens the lid, and the Oni Hellfiend grabs the Divinor vase from its ally and places it in and closes the lid.
Rip.
And she nods, and in a flash that summoned carrier disappears. That is more I keep saying the title of her, but that is the Oni Hellfiend's turn.
I assume the 2 spell scrolls she's used now don't hit each other with any overlapping concentration or anything like that.
No, this was not, no. Telperion, you're able to come to your awareness. You are restrained by chains, and you are surprised. Unfortunately, not anything you can do on this turn.
But now I have a reaction.
You do now gain your reaction back. This Spine Devil, charged with its task, will also dash off screen. Rome, you are also unfortunately restrained and surprised, but you do gain your reaction back as your turn passes.
I only have a reaction.
Restrained, surprised, and none of us are equipped with anything.
Grappled. We're
Is
grappled.
it grappled or restrained?
It is grappled, not restrained.
Okay, that's better.
Your movement speed is 0. Yeah.
Which means you
Okay,
guys
but
can't get up.
Your first action has to be to get out of that.
Yeah, you gotta try to break free.
Oh, I have to try. So
I
I
don't
can't
think
cast a spell and be grappled at the same time.
You can't take any actions though because you're
Damn.
surprised.
Okay. So I can't even get out of the grapple.
We can't do anything this first turn.
Not your first
lose a turn. Yeah.
Basically, you just gotta skip.
Okay, I can't even do vicious mockery then.
That's a bonus action. You don't have a bonus action.
Damn it! All right. Well.
Not on this first turn.
All right.
Then this spine devil, who's next in the initiative, will fly 40 feet up at an angle towards where it thinks Toby Rama may have gone, and it will use its action to make a perception check. It's looking around and like sort of poking and prodding the air with its pitchfork, and it is not able to find Toby Rama.
Why?
When the opportunity attacked me, I made myself invisible as a reaction.
Oh!
Ring of misdirection. Yeah.
Got it. I didn't know.
Roulette, you come to your senses, you lose the condition of surprise, and you gain your reaction back. Yes, what are we doing?
Does a 26 hit?
26.
On the devil that's right in front of me, I'm assuming.
Right in front of you? Absolutely, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
11 damage.
Nice.
You see the little jab barb of its little poker just stab directly through the chest of this thing, and it coughs up ash and cinder. And as it pulls up, you can see it's like bleeding this dark purple ooze. So it has been bloodied with that attack.
Wow. Okay.
I'll say it rolls over to here. Don't put any don't put any token there yet, though.
What does it look like when it rolls over?
It literally just looks like a solid metal tire almost. It's just like this big across, and you just see it like roll and just plops down. It looks like a landmine on the ground now. It's just laying there.
What in the world?
This spined devil at the end of your turn will do the same as its ally, flying up toward Toby Rama's general direction and making a perception check.
Approximately how you said they moved at a diagonal. Approximately how high off the ground are they?
I'm gonna say this one I had said was 20 feet off the ground. This one's closer to a 30, and this one's also closer to a 30. They have a movement speed above that. With a 15, I think a 15 is probably adequate to determine location of, although invisible, you're still making noise in the space. So as it sort of finds you, it will sort of like angle its pitchfork up toward your direction. So they have sort of identified your location, Toby Rama.
Okie dokie.
Jiri, you lose the surprise condition and you gain your reaction back.
Yes. I do nothing.
This one, the one that just seems to have found Toby Rama, will begin chirping and flapping and squealing. And what's up?
Is it the top of initiative?
It is the top of initiative. Good eye. And now that you are no longer surprised, you can sort of see the patterns within the chaos of battle, and you have the opportunity to make an adjustment here.
I'm gonna snap myself to Toby.
Snap yourself to Toby. Before or after him?
I'll go before him.
Okay. The spine devil in the middle of the camp is going to immediately obey its sort of primary command, risking some opportunity attacks to flee the tent, push past its ally, and fly up into the direction of Toby Rama.
Can it make it through this space where the Steel Defender is?
Oh, the Steel Defender's on the ground. Yeah,
and it's small currently. So yes, I think it will lose some movement, and otherwise will get up close to you, Toby Rama, but it's not actually able to get to you. But with its ranged attack, it is going to fire 2 tail spines in your direction, where the other one's angling its pitchfork. Both will have disadvantage.
Wait,
we
can we
all gonna
smack
punch
at it
it.
first?
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can attack it.
I mean, I think everyone was in range for it.
Yeah, and all of you guys have your
Opportunity attacks.
reactions, so go off.
Go off. Yeah, I'm gonna swing at it. Steve will too. This is just a punch, though, right?
And you could probably, I would allow, as part of a reaction, a free interaction to like grab something nearby. I'd say that's probably fair game.
Okay. I grab my great sword and swing at it.
Okay.
I rolled a nat 17, so I assume that'll hit. I don't think
It is this disadvantage because you are still prone.
Oh, nat 16.
Will still hit. Go ahead and roll damage for that swing.
That's 2d6, right?
It is indeed.
Wait, which one left first? The one that was closer to the door?
Yes, which had been stabbed previously by a mechanical barb.
You can roll 2, Steve.
I might not need to because I already did a lot of damage to it.
That may be true.
11.
Can't wait till it explodes in the tent.
I do 11 natural damage to it.
11 is exactly what you needed. You, as it's fleeing, Toby Rama, you see this thing bisected in half and 2 halves just part around the chain devil as it just like falls in that direction, and little bits of like fiery acid blood just kind of sizzle as they hit the ground. You have cleaved that one in 2.
It doesn't do a Mephit explosion.
It does not do a Mephit explosion.
I will not swing at it.
Okay, that one is dead. This other one, also in the tent, will do the same thing, fleeing from you all to aid its helper.
Stabby, stabby, stabby.
Jerry, do you want to do that one?
Or Jiri and or Rome.
Yeah, I'll smack it.
Okay, grabbing your sword and slicing.
Yep.
Perfect.
Wait, disadvantage. Okay.
Per prone, yeah.
Jiri sleeps hovering, but I guess he's still horizontal, but I guess that counts as prone. 13.
13, it's just out of your reach, but you extend your arm and you do make contact with it.
Wow. Okay.
For 22 damage.
That's its all.
Immediately, just as you reach up, it just like bisects its tail, and for fun, these creatures' heart is in the base of their coccyx before their tail starts, and you just see it go limp and fall with a thud. And that one is killed as well. It doesn't even make it out of the tent. It is prone on the ground, falling on a trash can lid.
Opportunity.
Hanging on a trash can.
Then it will be this one's turn. It needs to fly up a little bit and over, but it has identified the location of Toby Rama and will try and fly up to you, Toby Rama, and like reach its spiny little arms around where you are and attempt to grapple you. It does have multi-attack, 2 attacks, so it's going to make 2 athletics checks against your
At
acrobatics,
disadvantage,
I imagine.
presumably.
It's not an attack; it's an ability check.
Because here, attack rolls, and the creature's attack rolls have advantage.
I think because it would be disadvantage if it's an attack roll, but I think they've identified your location and it can try and grapple you.
Okay.
You're not particularly strong. A 10.
I'm not particularly dexterous. Oh my god.
And then second try, it has sort of grabbed onto you and knows where you are. And its second try is going to be better. So it does cling to you, and because you're grappled, it sort of, you can feel your wings get restricted by it, and you and it fall to the ground, which I think is 30 feet. So I actually need an acrobatics check again from you. You do save, so you only take half of this damage, and you're not prone.
What about the thing?
It's gonna make it. Yeah, it's gonna do it too. I just need to one at a time. You take 6 damage, but you kind of land on your knee and are able to push yourself back up with it still grappling around you, potentially. It will also take the 6 damage, so it is still grappling you, but it did take some damage. That is its turn. Telperion, you are up. You can see out of the tent barely the form of a spine devil holding something invisible and falling to the ground, clutching around it.
But he's still invisible?
He is still invisible for now.
Oh, so I can't do anything to him because
unless something doesn't say you need to see the creature.
Right.
Do I have to use my action to stop being grappled?
You would have to try and break the grapple through some means. I mean, you could Misty Step out of it. So, like, there's other ways to escape a grapple, but you would need, if you want to use movement, you would need to break the grapple somehow.
Okay. We are just gonna try to brute our way out of that. I don't have Misty Step. So
okay,
yeah,
go ahead and make an athletics check.
14 which will pass. 23.
Yes, absolutely. You shrug off, although they were magically animated, they're not magic in and of themselves, and they're just standard chains that you are able to force your way out of and are no longer restrained. The chain sort of coils off you like a snake, ready, and you see it's like has grown barbs and hooks along its length as well. So you know it could be dangerous.
Can I leave the tent, or is this guy blocking the tent entrance exit?
He is currently in the way of the tent entrance. You can see out of the tent past him a little bit, but he is posing as an obstacle right now.
Okay.
However, these tent walls are thin sort of burlap that chains were able to lacerate their way through, so you might be able to find other ways out of the tent.
Is there a floor to this tent, or is it just like a canopy that's staked into the ground?
Yeah, basically that. Yeah, so it's basically, there's blankets and bedrolls on the ground, but otherwise it's just sort of padded earth.
So we could crawl potentially underneath, like, if we wanted
some
to.
of the things, yeah, probably some sort of check might be involved there, loss of some speed. But yeah.
Okay, so I'll have to use 15 feet to stand up. Because I theoretically won't have I don't have my boots on, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I use 15 feet to stand up. So right now I have a bonus action in 15 feet. I have a question. If I tried, is this tent like super secure to the ground, or has it been like jostled and shit with all the chains and whatnot?
It hasn't been jostled because the chains, they fairly easily ripped through the tenting material.
Yeah.
You're not sure how strongly embedded the sort of poles and spines of this tent are.
Oh, I'll use my free object interaction this turn to grab my Staff of Defense.
Okay.
What I'd like to do is...
Great sword in one hand, Staff of Defense in the other.
Yeah. I'm going to... Okay. I have 15 feet of movement. I can give myself 60 more feet of flight. And what can I do? Get on top of Toby's body? But he's invisible, so I can't move him. Can I... Sorry, I have to read the language or something.
Okay.
Can I use my... So this guy's blocking the tent.
Mm-hmm. The tent entrance, yeah. I mean, you have, I think, ways of like moving people. Like there can be movement available. You can't necessarily move through his space, but he can be moved.
Since I'm proficient in perception, can I just look around the tent and see, is it really well staked into the ground?
That's You can make a perception check.
13.
You can see that the earth it has been pushed into is fairly ashy. The landscape here is still recovering from the death of this place. I would say it's more investigation to determine sort of structural integrity stuff, but you can see that, oh, the landscape here probably isn't super sturdy.
Okay, I'm gonna action surge and use telekinetic movement to take the tent and just throw it at the Oni. And try to put it entire, like just encase her in it, because it's 20 feet away, so I can move it and just encase her in it.
Does telekinetic movement, it specifies...
You can move an object or creature with your mind. As an action, you target one loose object that is large or smaller, or one ruling creature other than yourself.
The tent is definitely larger than the large category.
Oh,
However, it is light enough that I'll give you a check for this.
Okay.
It's going to be based off intelligence, and it's no proficiency, so it's just make an intelligence check, and I'm gonna
19. Oh,
I'm glad you gave me that, because I didn't know how to set a DC for it, but that's pretty high. With that, you are able to push upward on the tent, and you see it pulled out of the ground slowly, and then like the reduction all of a sudden of any resistance, it just flies up, and then you sort of arc it in a direction. And I will say you have just essentially thrown a net around. Let's do, I think it's Alt. No, maybe it's Shift.
And maybe blinded her because she's covered in cloth.
Jesus.
I think you were aiming for her, so I'm gonna say it's centered on her.
Okay.
It falls there, and a tent falls on them. I say no damage from that fall.
No damage.
But it is certainly, all of those people are at least in difficult terrain right now and are covered, including Toby Rama. And you are now all, free to run in directions because the tent is not around you.
I'm gonna bonus action and fly. So I'll get 60 plus another 15, right?
Yes.
And I'm just gonna hover. I'm gonna fly. Okay. I want to go right over her. And then I'm going in the air too. So I can go 25. So 60 minus, let's just go here. 60 minus 30 is
30 up, 30 over.
Yeah, but I get 15 more. I want to go up, and I just want to I'm gonna like go up and also yell and make myself a sight. And full winds are being attacked, and hurry, there's devils here. And then
you fly straight up first, and then how far up before you start moving horizontally?
I'll fly 30 feet into the air and then over 45 feet. Or I think I have enough to get here comfortably.
But you're trying to land at the end of this movement,
No.
though? Okay.
I got Ring of Feather Fall on, baby.
Very nice. Okay, so you leap up into the ground, or up from the ground, and as you do, you see the chain devil reaching for a chain, and then in frustration curse something infernal as you've flown too far for his long reach weapon. So you are able to get over there, and then you are still in the air. Anything else you're doing immediately?
No, I'm not gonna. I would be looking around, but I already did a perception check this turn, so I'm not gonna try to get any info.
Okay. With that, at the end of your turn, I think you would begin to slowly descend.
And I haven't hit 60 feet, so I'll end my turn on the ground right there.
Perfect. Toby, your turn. A tent has fallen around you. You are currently... things are obscured. You're maybe not fully blinded, but there is difficult terrain you are under right now.
Chris, are these all on the ground now?
I know at least two of them are high.
That's a good question. Telperion can only move the tent 30 feet. So I don't think he was able to get it up 30 feet, over 30 feet to where they are before it dropped. So I think this guy was already on the ground with Tobirama, but I think this guy's also on the ground because it was presenting its vessel to the Oni Hellfiend. This guy, I'll put little blue
You
icons
put
on the ones that
the
are in
little
the sky.
feather icon
Yeah.
or anything on them. That would be
Yes,
very helpful.
definitely.
Thank you.
You betcha. That's a good point to do in the future. Yeah, 2 of them are still flapping up in the air, but the Oni Hellfiend, 2 Spine Devils, and Tobirama are within the boundary of the tent.
About 30 feet, you said.
Also, sorry, I hope my turn didn't take too long. I was just trying to set things up for us that would help everybody out.
Do we think my flying arrow would suffer difficult terrain movement cost?
I would say just as the same as it couldn't fly through a wall, it can't fly through a tent. So it is sort of restricted by the physical world, but it's still within this space. So it can still attack things within this space.
Sure. Yeah, but I'm wondering if it will
But it probably has no movement available out of it. And it would be penalized to try and move out of it.
But moving within, do you think it's fine?
What are you trying to do?
I'm thinking, and that's kind of determining what I want to do with it.
Might not be exactly sure of this interaction.
I'm wondering if... God, it has so little movement.
It is the biggest downside to that spell.
It has 20 feet of movement. Could it get over the Oni and like maybe to here 5 feet adjacent to this thing?
Because it's a sort of ghostly arrow and she is a large creature, I will say it can sort of navigate through her space. I don't know that that's a precedent I'll always set,
Sure.
but
This is
in this situation, it will burn all of its movement to sort of get here to stab the one you're at.
That's what I would like to do.
Grappling you. Okay.
22 damage.
That one has been hurt a little bit by its fall.
Let me make sure I read this feature right. 1 attack or spell. Beautiful. So let's roll. I rolled a 12 plus 10 to hit.
12 plus 10 absolutely hits that creature.
It's going to be 2d8 plus 5 plus 10 because my wings are out.
Whoa.
Which is 7, which is 12, which is 22 damage.
It pierces through the butt tail heart of this creature.
Butt tail?
Okay. That was very worthwhile. Now with my action...
And it is no longer grappling you now, obviously.
Right. With my action, do I still... Because I can do all of this still that way. I think I stick to my plan, and I will try and get out of the tent, going, like, here.
Okay, that'll spend 10 feet of movement.
Okay. Does she
and as you leave,
make...
yes, she absolutely will attempt to slash out with you. With one of her, like, the weapons she's wielding look like nefarious, like, angled, crooked, and barbed, like, torture devices that she uses as, like, dual-wielding daggers. So she will slash at you with one of her wicked implements.
I'd honestly like her to miss. Or to hit, rather. And that's enough to hit, and I will use my reaction to spend another ring charge.
Okay.
You're invisible again.
I'm invisible again.
And she wants to... You hear her curse in Infernal.
So that was 10 feet of movement.
Speak common.
From this space, I will go 20 feet in the air. And ready Path to the Grave for once my allies have gone, and I'm intending to use it on the Oni.
Okay.
Essentially
say,
trying to get it.
Does Path of Grave say you have to see them? She is under a tent.
Right. Let me double check it. I would assume so.
You were able to clamber your way out of there.
But I'm gonna ready it. I'm gonna ready it for after Telperion does something. If I can see her, I'll use.
If you can see her at the right time, you're gonna release your Path to the Grave,
and that's my turn.
That's fair. Alrighty. What is this?
I feel like I can just see
Alex
not thinking
that's
so
one
hard.
Of the off-screen. You can hear some shrieking off in the distance from where one of the spine devils had flown. Shriek infernal squealing, not necessarily like a Wilhelm scream. It is this creature's turn, who will fall to the ground and like sort of waste some of its movement to clamber out of that tent, and will use the remaining movement to fly 30 feet straight up. And use a Telperion just flew over him. No, they're under orders, and they are dutiful, so it's going to use a perception check. 12, probably not good enough from its distance to find out where its quarry went. It is the Chain Devil's turn. Telperion was able to escape his chain, but 3 of you are still restrained and in this tent.
Not technically in the tent.
Oh, that's true. Not in the tent anymore, but still restrained by its chains. Oh, you know what, Telperion? As your turn concluded and you saw the Chain Devil, it will use its unnerving mask on you. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
My forte.
Got that ring to help with the +1, right?
It's not on right now.
Oh,
well,
no.
It's not attuned right now. Oh, I rolled a 9, and I'm debating if I want to inspiration this.
Or Indomitable.
Oh, yes.
Do you have your bardic die that you rolled for a plus, whatever that was?
What's that?
Oh,
I rolled a 10, didn't I? Something like that.
No one rolled
Did you not?
I rolled I rolled an 8. I rolled the highest on the, and it was a D8. So that would put me to what? 17. Sure. I'll use that. Wait, no. Oh, God, I really don't want to use that thing. I'll use Indomitable.
Okay. Use Indomitable. Reroll.
19.
19. Indomitable does it. As you're flying over this Chain Devil and it was about to reach out and strike you before it got frustrated, you see its chains sort of loosen and fall from its mouth. And where its face was, you see Doran. And he coughs up blood.
Aww.
And he looks up at you. And then in a moment of fear, you look hard, you like try and you can't help but put your attention to it. And then you see the illusory sense of this thing's glassy, like devil eyes, inherently sort of connecting with your soul and reflecting back at you a fearful moment of your past. But you push past the frightened condition. Now that it's turn and that did not succeed, it will use a chain attack on all 3 restrained people, which has advantage because you're grappled. It just squeezes you. All 3 of the chains around you guys just sprout barbs and hooks and just squeeze.
I'm assuming this is like not a melee attack that could be given disadvantage.
Correct.
You devils are devilish.
9 on Roulette. Only 3 on Jiri. And 8 on Rome. You guys are squeezed. And it has continued to keep you grappled in place. Oni Helfine's turn. With the tent sort of disheveled, thrown onto her surroundings, she will make an attack roll against it. Which which
Wasted action.
virtually can't miss. That's actually not going to be enough to tear through. So she has to hit again.
Dude, imagine if she rolled a 1, that would have been great.
Awesome.
Because her poison damage isn't going to affect the tent. But with that, you
You'll
see
stain it.
2 wicked implements sort of jut through the top of it, and just as her large arms stand up from where she is and just tear through it, it sort of collapses to the ground around her and is now sort of a loose net on the ground, no longer covering anyone. And you hear her curse again in Infernal, but then look around and grin with her evil fucking mangled razor teeth, and she says, "An unexpected success. Not what we were hoping for exactly, but perhaps this will do. The rest of you, try and grab the medallion from him wherever he is. Otherwise, flee. We have won something else." She had used her action for breaking out of that, so that will be it for her turn. Another Spine Devil off screen. Rome, it is your turn. You have your actions, bonus actions, reactions restored to you. You are just still restrained by a painful chain.
Damn, you're muted.
Yeah, can't hear you. Sorry.
Our bad. I'm gonna cast Freedom of Movement on myself to get out of those chains.
Okay, you do so in your form of like shifting bark and vine, just sort of like just shifts, and the chain just fall loosely to the ground around your changing form.
Okay. That costs 5 feet of movement according to the spell, by the way.
Okay.
And I'm gonna move myself out of the tent is gone.
Gone. Yep.
Okay, so I don't even need to be near the chain devil. So I'm gonna move myself over here.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna cast Vicious Mockery on the chain devil. And I say, "You material dwelling scourge, how dare you touch me with your disgusting chains? I'd spit on you, but you're so filthy nobody able to tell the difference."
As you are cursing him, you see a chain flying in your direction, because you have left his 10-foot reach with these chains. So a single chain lashes out at you. This one does include an attack roll. 13? You're not wearing armor currently. So what is your dexterity score?
+2. 14.
So your AC should normally be a 12 right now. So I actually think a 13 should hit you.
Wait, but what about the bark skin? I thought bark skin is just a part of my...
No, I think you flavored it that way, but you have a breastplate that's on you that you still have to physically wear armor. You did just unlock a capability that you can cast bark skin for free, basically, but you don't naturally have an AC of 16.
Alrighty.
But so I think this 13 will hit you. You don't actually take the additional damage, so you just take 9 slashing damage as it slashes around you. But then you were insulting him. What does he have to do for that?
It's a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
And it's 2d4 for...
Ooh, he does succeed. And I guess does not. It's a cantrip, so unfortunately, I don't think he suffers any of the disabilities.
Nope. If he
Oh, if you save, something still does happen.
Your DC shouldn't be 12.
He must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d4 psychic damage and have disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of turn. So he succeeded, so I don't think that goes through.
Okay.
No damage.
And yeah, that DC 12 is obviously wrong. I wonder if that's a way I made the crests that I just need to adjust, but I think his 21 will still save from your natural DC. But unfortunately, you see him sort of cock his head, and you wonder, he's somewhat unfamiliar with common, even though he was listening to the Oni Hellfiend's directions, but it just didn't land with him, your insults. Action, bonus action, movement, is that it for Rome?
Well, that was my bonus. So my action was freedom of movement, and my bonus action was Vicious Mockery, so yeah, I'm done.
Okay, perfect. It is this flying one's turn, And it's going to do what its ally did, but they do have to find your specific location. It's going to flap toward the general direction of Tobirama and make a perception check. I do think 20, like earlier, will be enough to determine your location, and he'll sort of angle his pitchfork toward where you are for the next one to try and grab onto you. Roulette, your turn.
I will turn to Jiri. Jiri, you feel like going and punching that lady? Pause.
Oh yeah.
And then
Exactly.
I'll turn back and the lady, it's time for action. And from beneath the cinders of that butt heart killed thing, the garbage can lid pops up, and you could add the token if you'd like. And as she pops up out of the viscera of that thing, she's going to take an immediate swing.
I'm going to
Hell Fiend.
destroy the... Well, I'm just going to move him over just so it's kind of clear where this thing appears. You see this thing pop out from under a trash can lid dome type thing and just extend up as a semi-humanoid looking contraption and will attack the Chain Devil.
Yes, she's going to make a swing at the Chain Devil, which is right over here. 27 to hit.
Oh, that'll do. Yeah, absolutely hits. Roll damage.
Yeah, and fuck it, we're doing an Arcane Jolt on this one too. So it's going to be this force damage plus this force damage.
17 total damage.
Yeah.
To the Chain Devil. What does it look like when this contraption injures the Chain Devil?
I imagine it the same spike that you saw like poke out. She it looks like a fist, but as she goes to punch, like the fingers go out and she just like kind of like stabs at it.
Cool.
Beautiful. I have control over her, and as part of the bonus action, I'm gonna have her just go around to this side.
Perfect.
Ready, Jiri? Let's go. And I'm gonna reach over and I'm gonna grab. I'm assuming I can reach Jiri.
Yeah, absolutely.
I one hand has my flail, other hand I'm gonna flail's on the strap around my wrist. I'm gonna grab Jiri's foot, spin the ring, and I'm gonna go sortilege. And I'm gonna look behind me and cast Thunderstep to pull myself and Jiri to I guess to we'll go over here to be opposite of. So Jiri, if you want to go like 5 feet somewhere near me, yes, and then Hellfiend has to make a con save. Otherwise, it's 3d10. Or
out of curiosity, are you sure? I literally just don't remember. Are you sure you can deal damage upon appearing? I know you can do it when you leave the space.
It's only when you leave.
Only when you leave, yeah.
Okay, so they don't have to make. The Chain Devil has to make this save. Sorry, thought you were intending to blast Moira.
No.
When you appear.
Yes, yeah. So it's the 10 feet radius of where I was, which is why I moved Daisy out of the way.
Got it. He needs a con save.
Con save. I've got the ring on. So it is a DC 17.
Even with advantage, it was not expecting you to disappear and assault it like that, so it definitely fails.
Another 18 damage. Thunder damage.
Okay.
And that is my bonus action. I have movement too. I will. The guy just to the left of Jiri is flying, correct?
Correct. About 30 feet up in the air.
I will. I don't know where Jiri is going.
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask really quick before you start moving. If I appear here, am I standing on this body?
That's a good question.
You're probably still prone. You're probably still in the position you were in upon leaving teleporting.
Can I use half my movement to stand up and the other half of my movement to pick Jiri up? Or no, I don't know if that's how it works.
It's probably not how it works exactly. I would think you have to like help them up with some
Oh,
version
it
of an
probably
action
would.
economy. So you can absolutely stand up. I don't think you can help Jiri up from prone quite
Okay,
yet.
I will use half my movement to stand up, and I only have 15 feet. I'm just gonna move this way. Seeing that the commotion of Toby is down there, I'm just gonna start moving this way the tiniest bit. I'm just gonna stand there, and that is my turn. Daisy's over there. I still have my reaction. Yeah, flail in hand. Yeah, that's my turn.
Perfect. You guys appeared near there. It is this Spine Devil's turn, and Toby Rama's location has been identified, so it's going to flap toward Toby Rama and attempt to grapple. So 2 likely to grapple attempts at Toby Rama. Number 1, athletics against your acro. 11 from the Spine Devil, MK, if you are there. Hopefully. Can't believe that amount of potatoes you guys got. I'm just looking at the picture you sent. That's awesome. All right, well, MK is gone, and I don't know how to resolve this without him being here.
What's happening to him?
Yeah, a spined devil's trying to reach out and clamber around him and just sort of grapple him once more. I'll just, yeah, I mean, if his first grapple attack works, he might do something different with his second attack. So I do need Toby Rama's check here.
You have access to his character sheet. Roll for him.
Roll.
I am willing to do that, but I feel like that's a bad taste in my mouth. Doing something for
We can do the roll. Someone else. You don't have to do the roll itself. Just tell someone fire.
That's fair. Yeah. Can one of you guys? What is his multiplier or modifier? Let me do that.
For acrobatics, right?
I think it's just a +2 because I don't think he's proficient in it. So yeah, roll a d20 +2 for Toby.
I rolled a 6.
So that's an 8. So with his first
he's invisible right now?
attempt, he is invisible, but they had identified his location. So with the grapple attempt, he is able to clamber onto this invisible creature and grab onto him. MK, we just rolled one acrobatics check for Toby.
Okay.
As the Spine Devil is trying to grab onto you, which he does. So once again, I need another acrobatics check from Toby as you guys begin to fall.
I'll spend an inspiration to try and do better. Let
to avoid the grapple?
What the rolls were. What did it roll?
It rolled an 11 on its strength.
Okay, I'm gonna spend an inspiration to reroll. Or what did I roll?
You rolled an 8.
8.
Okay.
Yeah, 8. So +2.
So I don't know if you want to like use your bardic.
Yeah, I have a +2,
of
so an 8 +2 should beat that, right?
Wait, no.
No, 8 was your total roll.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that bardic inspiration might not send it over the edge.
If it was an 8 total, then I'll spend an inspiration for another acrobatics. There we go.
Do it. So it will then use its second attack for the same purpose. Where's my screen? So one more acrobatics from Toby as it uses its second attack of its multi-attack. Oh, that is unfortunate.
I'm going to Silvery Barbs that.
Silvery Barbs. What does it look like when Telperion uses Silvery Barbs?
No one sees anything except I put my finger to my head and I just curse this thing in Elvish, and its head is just filled with my telepathic Silvery Barb, and it has to re-roll that.
Wow. Reroll it will with a 3. So Toby Rama, I need one more acrobatics check to beat a 3.
And then in Jiri's head, Jiri hears, "Jiri, you got this. Smack that bitch." And you get advantage on your next attack.
Oh, I'm going to.
succeed. So this creature is trying to clamber onto you, Toby Rama, and grapple onto you from the air, and you guys are having a little bit of a spat up in the air with you invisible, and it's not able to get purchase on you. Your wings are still keeping you aloft. That is its entire turn. Jiri, it is your turn.
I will use my bonus action first to curse this creature in front of me. And then I will smack it with my sword.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Anything causing anything weird?
With advantage.
I don't think so. Oh, yes, this first one at least with advantage per silvery barbs. Beautiful.
Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I've been waiting.
Give me a damage total on that.
But we're not even done yet. I'm going to Eldritch Smite this.
My first spell slot in the campaign, y'all.
And so
Eldritch Smite, which we've never seen before. So what does it look like when you swing this sword with this strike?
Jiri does like a big two-handed swing at this this lady, and this shadow rises up behind him. And in Jiri's mind, it looks like Adros coming and like smashing with him. But I'm curious what Chris will say it looks like.
But you will see behind Jiri's own shadow curling up behind him as like a translucent, huge form. 7 long, straight horns. Its form writhing in shadow-like flame has a long, thin greatsword right next to Jiri's sword. As Jiri stabs in, so too does his patron. And you see 2 blades impact the center of the Oni Hellfiend's chest. Go ahead and double your Eldritch Smite damage as well.
Which will be
5th spell slot, so how
5th
much?
level spell slot.
12d8.
An additional 12d8 on top of whatever you rolled here.
I think is 28.
Let me try.
28 plus 12d8.
I don't even know how to do 12. Wait a minute. I gotta like...
If you go to advanced dice roller, you might be able.
There it
able
is.
to customize. Yeah.
It's also you could do /space 12d8 if you want to just type it out.
Yeah, if you want to be a software engineer.
Nerd.
88.
So is that a total of 88 damage?
Yes, 88 damage.
Oh,
I'm trying to outdo you in a second.
Math is hard.
And she's knocked prone.
And she is knocked prone.
I'm taking partial credit for getting Jiri there.
You see this pain, she is coughing up this black sludge as her blood, and she falls to the ground prone, heavily bloodied from that situation. An enormous attack. She will look up at you and speak a word of infernal, and fire lashes up and burns, scorches your front. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Sortileges.
And
You resist fire, right?
I do.
And Jiri resists like lightning or bludgeoning.
I actually don't know what I resist right now. Let me find out.
Oh, actually, I don't resist anything right now because I probably didn't sleep with the fucking breastplate on.
Did Jiri sleep in his crown?
Of course.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
That actually feels right, and you could still get restful sleep with that. So, with a fail, you just aren't ready for her rebuke, but you see hellish flames just launch from her, almost just from her being, not even from a specific part of her physicality, and you just are scorched for 20 points of fire damage.
Ouch. Trying to figure out if I'm resistant.
That's it for Jiri's first swing.
Yes.
And now she is prone.
What the hell is
Jesus.
There's a 5th level spell slot. That is cool.
There it is. I'm resistant to lightning damage right now.
Okay.
Alright, and I'm gonna do attack again.
With advantage. Prone.
Oh, because she's. Oh, yeah. Whoop.
Whoop. That's what that means. Jeebus.
27 is absolutely going to hit. What damage are we looking at here?
Another 17.
Okay, are you Eldritch Smiting on this strike, or can you only do that once
Per turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you say, sorry, 17?
Yes.
Why is it only once per turn? Is it the language within the spell?
It literally says once per turn.
When you hit a creature with
When you
an
hit
attack,
a
blah, blah,
creature.
blah, yeah.
It's like a sneak attack, kind of.
Okay.
Oh, I thought
That
you were
creature
using a
is
spell. I see. That's your
dead.
Eldritch
warlock ability.
invocation
That
thing.
creature is dead. That creature is dead. It is Telperian's turn.
I'm gonna snap Jiri up to me. I feel kind of bad. Jerry's had a really good turn. I should snap someone else, but I'll snap Jerry because I already said it. I'll put him right underneath me though.
You'll put who right underneath you? Oh, you're
Jiri.
snapping someone to you. Got it.
Jesus.
Jiri snapped all the way up to underneath you. Okay.
And then I'm gonna.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no,
Right.
that works because it was still at the top of initiative. I was just like, it doesn't happen at the beginning of your turn. It happens at the beginning of initiative, but that's just because we skipped the 3 people.
3 people, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm gonna stride over and swing at her twice.
Okay, she is
Taking out my
on
sword,
the ground. Advantage.
yeah. Taking out my sword, just going at her.
So you're holding your greatsword in one hand and your staff
Oh,
in the other.
I'll drop the staff, but
You drop the
when
staff, does it fall to the ground, or
These
these
I'll
are
step
leading
over here.
questions?
Oh,
These are leading questions to allow you flavor.
yes, thank you so much. I forgot this is my first time doing this. So Telperion on his turn, when it wasn't my turn, is holding great sword and staff in one hand. I will just
Gandalf.
a Gandalf style, but to make my swings with my great sword, I release my staff, and for the mechanical purposes, I'm putting it on the ground. But for in-game flavor, it floats next to me and kind of just like hovers, and it like goes behind my back as if it was like stuck to my back, and then I'll swing at her twice with my great sword. 19 plus everything, nat 19 on the first.
Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll
Okay.
damage.
And then this is 2d6. It's been so long since I've attacked.
It's been a while.
All right. Probably gonna psionic. Oh my god, I rolled a 1 and a 2. Rerolling those. God, I love rerolling. Okay. I'm gonna not psionic strike on this one because I don't know that I. Actually, no, I will. I'm gonna add a d8, and I'll psionic strike here.
Okay.
Oh, rerolling that. Get better. Okay. So 5 plus 5 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. Plus 6 is 18 total damage.
Okay.
No, plus another 3, 21.
Okay. She looks pretty rough.
That would knock her. I would make her knock prone again, but I don't need to.
Like the other devils that have been injured, you just see as you cut into her and sort of spray her blood just sizzles on the ground with little embers accompanying it as their blood is sort of infernally ablaze at all times.
And then I'll do another attack. 18 plus everything.
Okay. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right, 2 more d6 plus regular 6. 12 plus 4 is 18.
No, 12 plus 4 is 16.
12 plus 4 is 16. 16 damage.
16 damage.
Yep.
Okay.
And then with my bonus action,
You can see some of her fucked up inner anatomy. Like she is ripped open in multiple ways and just oozing out black
I'm gonna kill her
ichor.
before I do my thing.
Are there 2 devils hovering really close to the shade of Toby? Like they're just 2 devils clustered above me?
Yes, they're both sort of grabbing onto or poking at an invisible space above you.
I will push one of them. Yeah. If I have to step back, I guess I will. She already used a reaction anyway. I'm gonna step back and then just try to shove this one 5 feet in the air further away from me. So strength save. Gotta be like a 15, 14 or something.
Ooh, it does. You see, you find purchase, but it's just sort of at the edge of your reach. And you see it just like flat back and immediately fly back into space. Kind of hard to find purchase on the flying creature. That is that. Jiri, it is your turn.
Object interaction, grab the staff back.
Grab the staff back. Got it.
Actually,
Hey, MK.
I'll stay next to her just to keep flanking.
MK, did you have something cool to do?
Yeah, I've got an average of over 100 damage if I hit.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Crit, you know how, just for my tactician thing, when I snapped Jiri to me and I had snapped to Toby, would Jiri go before me or after me? I couldn't have stacked him after Toby, could I?
No, you cannot stack him after Toby,
Okay.
but you can put him in front of you or behind you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't let Toby go first?
You cannot let Toby go first naturally.
Toby's
due to
had a whole-
tactician's mechanics.
Toby, you've had a held action this whole time.
I'm
right?
waiting until people have done their stuff.
Yeah, you see
before it
sort
gets
of
to my
silver
turn.
mist gathering around Toby Rama.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna just smack this lady. Sorry.
That's all good.
Okay, go ahead and roll. She is still prone. Holy
Still a
shit.
chain devil, too.
20,
20 is gonna hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
22.
22 damage.
Yep.
How do you kill Moira's bodyguard?
Heart stab, like right in the chest.
You see the rage and infernal fury light up like embers in her eyes as you sink your blade into her chest, and as she sort of instinctively grabs at it, she looks in surprise at the blade you're using. She says, "Not one of ours." Or... And she looks up with horror at you as she falls limp. She is slain. What do you do with your second attack?
That was weird. I'm gonna go get the tank guy.
Does Jiri say that?
Yes.
Yeah. Normal attack against this guy.
Perfect. Go ahead and
Oh
roll.
wait,
It
I
is
still
his.
health.
He gets his ability back again. So Jiri, as you're running over to attack him, please make a wisdom save.
Okay, hold on. Let me heal first. I get 16 health back as she dies.
Indeed, indeed.
Okay. Wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Rats.
What is... You see... As you go run up to this creature, the chains around its face loosen and fall and sort of droop around its neck and reveal the face of Jax. And he says, "I've broken out!" And you are frightened.
That just gives me disadvantage, right?
Yes. And you were able to move up to him functionally before this happened, so you were able to move toward him.
Ooh.
13.
13 will not hit. You slash across him, but you can tell in this attack that although you're slicing through sort of the loose garb he's wearing, there's just rows and rows of chains that he's wearing around his body, under his clothing, and all around him, and your blade just sort of harmlessly scrapes against them with that attack. However, a little bit of lightning does sort of zap him a little bit.
2, yeah. I'm gonna yell at everybody, guys, look out, it's Jax, he's back.
Perfect.
And for my bonus action, I will whip out my decanter and try to blast him with it.
Okay, is that a strength save on his part?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Dang.
You
Okay.
see his body temperature, just being a devil, is so hot that as you spray it and unleash your hydro pump on him, it just steams and sort of harmlessly drifts past him.
That's my turn.
Toby
Before
Rama.
it gets to my turn, with the target of my reaction killed, can I pivot and try and target something else, or do I just not get to use that reaction? It doesn't matter because it doesn't consume it because it's not a spell. So if I can't do it, that's fine, but I'll try and change and look at the chain devil, to curse it.
Peter's doing so much math right now.
I'm actually not doing math. I'm doing a philosophical debate with my version of mechanically. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think you can change what your held action was because triggers weren't met. However, I'm also like, but does that matter? Is that a meaningful sticking to the rules? I don't think so.
I think 5e is so
So
neat.
I think you were holding an effect to release. You can release the effect in a different way than you anticipated, sort of.
I will release...
You wouldn't be able to cast a spell instead, but you were holding this ability, you can use that ability.
Yeah, so the Chain Devil is cursed. I'll mark a Channel Divinity off. I am still invisible. It's until the end of my turn. So
Indeed.
I'll try and get away from these fools.
Okay. They cannot even attack of opportunity you because that reaction requires sight. So you just flap away and they just sort of
Juicy.
react.
Yeah, I'll just go up 20 feet or 10 feet more. So I can fly past them. And then, which would put me at 30 because I was at 20 up. So I'll go here. And I will cast Holy Weapon on myself as even a different shade of brilliant light bursts out. A more bright
more
silver.
silvery than your magenta. With Mislead's ability in the ring, does that end your invisibility? Okay, so you cast Holy Weapon and your bow and arrow begin to glow brilliantly.
And I will fire a shot down at this guy.
Which you have advantage on per your advantageous positioning.
And I will spend the charge of Liurniala to make it a crit.
If it hits.
If it hits, which I've got my medallion point and other things, so I will do this with advantage.
Advantage.
25?
25 will hit. It is an automatic critical.
I
so
would
go
have
ahead and
drawn
roll.
an ice arrow to use.
That's fair.
So Liurniala does a d6 plus 6. The ice arrow does a d6. Blessed Strikes does a d8. Holy Weapon does 2d8. My wings are out as an action, that's plus 10 as a crit, so that's 4d6 plus 6d8 plus 32.
I mean, how do you kill this chain devil?
Plus 32?
Because plus 6 plus 10, he's vulnerable to all the damage. So 4d6,
God.
12, 6d8.
He's got to know the number.
Plus 15, plus 16 on that, so 41, 57 times 2, 114 damage.
Is he looking her up?
You see the glowing silver arrow just explode with ice as it hits his face, and the arrow juts out the back of his head, and then you just see his face burst into flame, and the rest of him begin to cook as he just goes limp and falls to the ground, dead.
Are you alright?
Are you okay?
And that's my whole turn. Nice.
You hear the sounds of squealing infernal bullshit off screen as you can sense the arising campgrounds around you, people reacting to chaos and the sounds of fighting. It is this one's turn. It is still duty bound. So it will fly directly to Toby Rama and will try and grasp at your medallion. You are now visible, so it doesn't have to try and find you. It's just going to try and wrestle your medallion out of your hands. Grapple check number 1. 10.
Meets it, beats it, right, on my end.
Indeed.
So I'll use my +2 Braves inspiration rather than a full inspiration point.
It grabs onto the medallion, and you see it like locked in mental turmoil as it makes contact with it, but you hold on to it too, and you wrestle it away from its grasp, and it sort of is recoiling from the pain of having touched it.
Oops. Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, I forgot. I tried to touch it.
And then you just see it squeal and sort of grab, its nails go into its eyeballs and its jaw, and it just starts tearing its own head apart.
Oh, God.
And falls to the ground dead from having touched the medallion. That's that turn. That's that turn. That's that turn. They're off screen being killed. Rome, it is your turn. There are 2 more spine devils flying in the air off in the distance.
Oh, they're flying in the air.
Yes, they're about 30 feet up.
Oh. Oh, that means I can't even entangle them. Dang. All right.
It has to be on the ground for entangle?
Well, it's a 20-foot square, so I guess if they're 30 feet up, then that doesn't allow them to do that.
If it has to be connected to the ground, I agree, but I don't even remember. You might be able to just conjure a massive entangling vines up in the air.
Like vines just grow.
It says sprout from the ground.
Okay.
Yeah,
sprout from the ground, yeah.
You got Wrath of Nature still?
Yeah, I have Wrath of Nature. Yeah, I guess I'll cast Wrath of Nature. I'll just go crazy.
Wrath of Nature, what does that look like? I don't think we've seen that from Rome
we
yet.
have not. It says you call out to the spirits of nature to rouse them against your enemies. So the spirits cause trees, rocks, and grasses in a 60-foot cube centered on that point to become animated until the spell ends.
Okay.
So there's like multiple elements. So are they within 10 feet of a tree?
If
they're like up at all?
They are up in the air. There are nearby dead trees from just the nature of the barrens. So they're nearby something, but I'm trying to think if the dead trees would even heed your call to nature.
Okay, fair.
And it's at the start of your turn.
Okay, so you animate all these effects.
Yeah.
And so you see like just the terrain shift around these creatures, and you see like trees sort of begin to twitch and move, and grasses begin to sway. So you can tell you animated that area.
Yeah, I can do the rock one.
You can do the
rocks.
rocks,
Well, as
yeah.
a bonus action,
They're yes, definitely.
You can cause a loose rock in the cube to launch at a creature you see within the cube. So
Okay.
I will do that.
Okay.
Make a ranged spell attack against the target. Okay. I don't think I just did it.
It looks like you successfully rolled the damage.
Your spell attack just did that.
My bad.
Nice.
25 definitely hits these creatures. Are you targeting one of them, or does it let you target multiple?
I can only attack one of them, so I guess I'll roll this.
So, with 11 damage, are either of these ones injured? Neither of them are injured, but you see them bludgeoned with shrapnel of earth being launched from the ground. Which one did you target? Top left or bottom right?
The top one. The top one.
Left. Okay.
They have to make a strength save too.
Yes, and they also need to make a strength save. Or they fall prone.
14 will not do it, I don't think, against your DC. So you see these bludgeon and shrapnel of rocks tear through its wings, and it just can't keep itself aloft, and it will drop 30 feet.
It'll take fall damage as well, then?
Yes, attempting an acrobatics check, which it barely makes, but it will fall 30 feet, taking half of this, an additional 5 damage as it hits the ground, but it immediately sort of pops itself back up, not prone currently, but heavily wounded, definitely bleeding.
You
Wait a
can roots
second.
and vines it now.
But that's at the start of your turn.
That one's now at the end of your turn.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Roots and vines.
Thank you, Tim. At the end of your turn, one creature
Wow.
will be that one. It's on the ground. It must succeed, I guess, on an additional strength saving throw or become restrained until the spell ends.
Wow, very cool. Okay. It does sort of flap its little wings up high enough to avoid the dead entangled roots sort of latching out from the ground trying to grasp at it. So it does avoid that restraint.
Fair. Okay. Now
Did it just roll again? That was weird. It is now this Spine Devil's turn, which will also soar toward Toby Rama, arcing downward. And it will look in confusion at its ally that just clawed itself to death. I'm going to make a wisdom check for it. It's confused why that creature just clawed itself to death, but it's then going to try and grab onto the medallion to steal it from Toby.
They do get an intelligence saving throw. I don't remember if you did that for the first one.
Oh, I actually didn't do that, but that's a good point. It had been injured. It was okay for that one to just die. You definitely pull this one out of its grasp, and it will try again. Yikes.
Nice.
You are able to just keep this one away. It's like sort of reaching, clawing for it, but you're able to literally just hold it away in the other hand as its little spines threaten to poke you, but don't deal any damage. It is Roulette's turn.
Swinging at the guy at the ground at advantage.
He is not prone. He just fell to the ground.
Flanking with Jiri.
Oh.
He made it
I will take out the Cinder Sliver, and I'm going to send 2 at the guy at Toby. Oh, but he... Sure, I'm just going to step away from him so that I get better range. Swing at me, bitch!
It will sort of claw at you as you go with its little fork. It rolled a 5.
Beautiful. And I will take out the Cinder Sliver and toss it to cast Scorching Ray. And I think it's my spell attack for Scorching Ray. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this first one is at the guy on the ground.
Okay.
14 to hit.
Will hit. Go ahead and roll your other raise.
Sure. I'm just gonna roll 2 d20s at once, and it's adding. Oops. Whoops. Roll 2 d20. Whoops. Sorry.
This guy thinks he knows science.
Shut up. 17 and 20.
All 3 rays hit your intended target. However, the flame of these things just harmlessly passes over these devils that are immune to fire damage.
Whoa.
But then as it misses and harmlessly just passes over them, it turns into a tangible object again and returns to your hand as you catch the boomerang.
Daisy, you might need to do this one. And I'm gonna have Daisy run over to this one and attack it.
You're welcome to do that. Daisy books it.
18 to hit, 19 to hit.
Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
And I'm gonna do Arcane Jolt on this one. So the one on the ground gets 10 damage, and then the one in the air gets 8 damage.
Very cool. So describe this. You kill the one that Daisy physically hits. And then does the Arcane Jolt leap to the other one nearby?
So I've never known how this really works, but the way that I'm going to flavor it, so Daisy goes for her like punch stab thing with her hand, and as she follows through the because it's force and non-elemental, I, using my flail or whatever it is as my focus, I like redirect the damage up into the air to another target so that it's just like a piercing force damage towards another target.
Okay.
You see this like almost like Toby's arrow, this you see the air moving more than anything else as I redirect it to another
Very
target.
cool. The one in front of Daisy is slain, and the one that's trying to grab onto Toby Rama is injured.
That's my turn.
For roulette. Okay. No. Telperion.
Rome's turn.
Yes, it is also. Yeah, you're welcome to pull someone up. So you snap Rome to move directly above you. So Rome, it is your turn.
All right. So I'm gonna go through all of the Wrath of Natures.
Okay, the only existing target is this guy that's hovering in the air with Toby Rama. I do think he's out of the range of nearby trees, but other effects can certainly injure him.
Yep. So out of range of trees at end of turn. So we'll go with the rocks first. So my bonus action.
Strength save.
Well, I have to attack first.
Oh, that one's a spell attack. Definitely hits. So go ahead and deal your damage.
10 damage.
10 damage. Got it. Once again, you see this shrapnel sort of tear into its wings, and it will potentially fall prone, yes?
Now it's a strength saving throw or fall prone.
It succeeds. So it has, you didn't quite injure its wings the same as the other one, so it is still able to stay aloft right now. But it is very weak, like barely holding itself together.
And I don't believe I can do anything else because it's still like hovering.
Gotcha.
Do you use a bonus action?
That was my bonus action. So could I do if a bonus action?
You can't use your action to do a bonus action thing now.
No. Okay. So then that's all I can do.
Okay.
Do you have any attack action cantrips?
Yeah,
you still have a regular action to do other things,
Okay.
And you also only triggered the effect of an existing spell, so you could also cast a spell with your action.
Oh well, I guess I'll hit it with Primal Savagery then.
I think that one's a melee attack. You have to
Never
close
mind.
the distance.
I
Sorry.
mean, you can run up to it if you wanted to.
I guess that's true. I could just run up to it.
Roam angry.
It is in
it's
the air. Yeah,
we're fine.
And I can't do produce flame. I guess I could shape.
You could produce flame, it,
No,
right?
but
Yeah,
it
you
doesn't-
could.
Vicious
it's immune
Mockery
to
it.
fire. It's immune to fire. And Vicious Mockery is a bonus action.
No, but the feat says can cast. Does it mean have to cast as a bonus action?
Oh, that's a great point. So the crest of the this is amazing. The crest of the dragoon says that you gain access to the cantrip Vicious Mockery and can cast it as a bonus action. You're also welcome to cast it as its normal action.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I will cast Vicious Mockery as a regular action.
Wait, so does that mean you could cast it as an action and a bonus action?
Because of the rules of casting 2 spells in one turn and one has to be a cantrip as an action, yes.
Oh my god, amazing.
Okay,
It's going to be making fun of everybody.
Demon.
You make fun of it. Is it a whiz save?
Yes.
That is a fail. What do you insult it with and roll your damage?
Have fun hitting the ground, you winged devil.
Nice trip.
Nice trip, yeah.
Did you enjoy the trip?
How much damage do you do?
5 damage.
You see the damage is just enough for it to look in horror at you, and then its wing just snaps off and it falls to the ground and impacts. I don't know how else to flavor the fact that 5 psychic damage was enough to kill it. So it does fall to the ground dead and explodes into a small cindering pile of ash and cinder. As all of the enemies in this combat seem to be dispatched, rushing up to you all is... Where's his little token?
Toby.
No way I got rid of his token.
Good job killing Jax.
You hear the beating sound of wings as your friend Kinsalo dashes up to you. A little bit of wear and tear on him, but not even blood. Seemingly the first person to have responded to the spine devils that had left the combat area. What the hell happened here?
We were ambushed. Ambushed. Has there been an attack anywhere else on the camp?
I don't think so. A couple of us started waking up. We heard chaos over in this direction. Let me do a quick look. And he just takes to air and just sort of does a loose, small arc and then flies back down. I don't see any other signs. I can see people rousing and gathering to come this way. Are you guys hurt? What do you need?
Toby's gonna fly to the Oni and start rifling and looking for scrolls.
I am very specifically helping Toby with that. Did we see the first scroll burn up?
I certainly watched both castings.
Both scrolls that were used burned up, incinerated into ash as they were being read.
Okay.
Toby Rama, you find 2 additional spell scrolls. No investigation check needed because other than her wicked implements, it would seem these spell scrolls are all she had on her. You gain a scroll of sending. It is written in Infernal. And you gain a scroll of slow.
What was she gonna do with the medallion? She couldn't put it in the box then. That seems silly.
Insight-wise, she only expected there to be one item of interest here. So she teleported the first thing she could out of here.
Is that box that she used still visible?
I'll relay
She
what I
didn't
saw.
use a box. It was a sort of translucent magical carrier that had a box and disapparated with it.
I know that spell. I can do it myself, but not right now.
Yeah, Rome is gonna be like frantically like kind of sifting through the rubble.
I'll describe what I saw happen to her.
Rome, go ahead and make a nature check as you do so.
I'm gonna go over to Jiri and Dead Jax, and Jiri. Did you say this was Jax?
You do just see a leathery, red-faced devil maw slowly burning away as as all of these corpses are sort of smoldering into ash as they have been slain.
Didn't his head get blown up? Isn't that
it sort of incinerated, and then the rest of his body did. But all of these creatures, when killed, are sort of becoming ash and cinders.
I don't know what Jax was doing here, but he's clearly working with the enemy. Good job, Toby. You killed him. Hopefully, once and for all.
Yes, Jax is dead. Toby, can you talk to this corpse before it turns to ash? I'm pointing at the Oni.
You're welcome to do that, Rome. As you're sort of rifling through the debris of the conflict, you find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hellish pitchforks.
Yes.
And you find also 6. Hang on one second.
There's 4 pitchforks or 6?
Sorry.
6 hellish pitchforks and 6 handfuls of hell ash.
Jerry,
which you think could be used to some alchemical, natural herbalism type effect.
Jerry, will you describe me like you did last night? Real quick.
Do what?
Will you disguise me like you did last night?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then the moment I get shrouded, I'll cast Speak with Dead.
Wait, who do you want to look like?
Anyone but me. Someone this person hasn't seen before.
Oh, what about... Wait.
Obi-Wan.
What about Vintria? That's a Talon you've met before. The draconic one.
Okay, Vitria. Yeah. I want to make Toby look like Vitria.
Trying to find it cooler. This is a little better background music for the aftermath of a fight. You make Toby look like Vitria. Because I have her token available.
And while I'm at it, I'll make Telperion look like slightly
a
version of Telperion.
Do I notice?
You don't
Very-
feel anything, so I don't know how vain you are and when the next opportunity to look at yourself is in a mirror or some reflective surface. You don't feel a difference.
I'm very frantically like wanting information, so I don't notice that I have a second chin as I'm looking down at the Oni.
Okay. I'm also going to delete the circle of the ruined tent at your feet.
Before-
Toby Rama. Yes. Oh, yeah, Roulette, what you got?
Before it even gets to that, Roulette is snapping on some metal implements to the bottom of her boots. She's tapped Daisy on the head. Daisy is back into garbage can mode, clipped her on the belt, and Roulette is running off to where she thinks, I'm assuming she knows where the loon songs probably have been, and she's running off. Topirian, I'm gonna go check on Minerva and them, and I'm gonna start running.
Thank you.
Perfect. You're able to start making your way that way. Toby Rama, you appear to be a green-scaled dragonborn woman with the familiar garb you've seen her wear, including her dark Vanta Black pauldron that sort of sits on her one shoulder.
So this is.
I'll let Topirian, if you want to put questions in my head, like if you have ideas. But my first question
That box
would be,
cup.
my first question would be, why were we seeking Divinor?
Where did you send the box? Who did you send it to?
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
How did they know we were here?
How'd you know we were here? Are there anybody else evil in the camp?
Done. Beautiful.
Well, wait, couldn't we just assume that she's sending it to her boss, the witch?
Well,
we
we
need to
want to
know
know if there's a way to access it. If there was another step, maybe we can get it first if it's not full. But
Instead of that one saying who are you sending it to, you can say what's the plan with this Divinor once it's obtained.
But if we know exactly who it's
Also-
we can spy on them.
I will also just say, I'm sorry, Rome. Please remove the Divinor vase from your inventory.
How dare you?
So sad.
So sad.
The other question I have is how did they even know who to impersonate? They knew that Toby had the medallion and they knew to impersonate loon songs. That's very important information of like how did they know we were here, but also like I think more important than who's evil in the camp, it's who has been spying and giving them this information.
No, but we also need to know if there's anybody else left.
Or
Do we have to
perhaps
But if we ask it as who's giving information, that might tell us without limiting it to this camp.
Might
I will
not give us the intel though,
stick
because
with
what if there's
the
somebody else?
first question I asked, which was why were we after the Divinor?
do we have a question of how they were able to like know that we had it?
I feel like you can combo where's it going and who's it going to, because like that's what the spell does. It sends it to a person. So like, what was the intent of the spell? Like, where was the destination and arrival point of the spell? Because it's a person and a place.
See what the DM says when he responds.
I asked that first question to it already. So
Why seeking Divinor?
yeah, why were we after the Divinor?
Oh, you have officially asked
Yeah,
that
yeah,
question? Okay, I thought you guys were still just considering options. Number one question was, why were we seeking Divinor?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they linked the two, and that's the link.
As the ash and cinders are sort of slowly burning away at the Oni Hellfiend's body, your spell has sort of paused that process as she still has a head to give answers. And like normal, Silver Mist sort of gives her a buoyancy to lift up her mouth and chest to answer. The Duchess believes it to be the missing piece.
Amazing.
Lore drop.
How did you find out about this moot?
The Duchess's mate, the Duke, has kept us informed.
I think the Duke and the Duchess are the ones who are
Or
having
in the
that.
nearby city?
Count
That's
and
the,
Contessa.
that's the Count and Contessa.
Different
Yeah.
title.
Yeah.
Different titles.
Duke and Duchess.
Who the
Can I ask a question? Do we hear the question and the
Yeah.
answer?
Yeah, this can all be audible from everyone. Just Baldur's Gate's a good reference point of the ones doing it, but sure, the party can interact.
listen
and
in.
hear
So,
things, yeah.
so we avoid any D&D style movie thing of like the question being. I'm gonna think to Toby, and this is like your way of telling us what are the questions you were thinking of asking next, if you wanted to.
Next, I'll think back to Telperion. Next, I was going to ask, how can we retrieve the vase you recovered? I want to see if there's a way we can get to it before they get it. Or find out if that's not possible.
I think it's better to find out where it was sent.
Who it was sent to.
Who and where.
Well, I think she'll say it should already be with the recipient, if I ask it this way.
Yeah, but who was the recipient? And where are they located?
Well, also, where are the Duke and Duchess? Now that we know there's people we need to find out more about.
But if the recipient is the Duke and Justice, we'll know where they are from that question.
You do what you want with that, Toby.
Yeah, I've got enough questions to accomplish most of these. I'll ask out loud. How can we retrieve the vase you recovered?
Brave the terrors of her laboratory beneath Talon Reach.
So it's underneath the capital castle.
So that informs us that likely the Duchess is the
Moira.
witch, Moira, of whom. So
Who the fuck is she sleeping with?
I think we need to investigate our safety as the moot. Like, how many spies are left? How do they know? How were they informed?
The Duke has kept us informed, is what was said. The
Think this
Duchess's
way.
mate, the Duke, has kept us informed.
We represent the whole Union, and the whole Union is at stake. And we got 2 questions left to help make the Union safer.
How many?
Protect our-
Other spies in this camp?
What are the status of our remaining spies? What are the status of our remaining spies in this area? In the Emran, in Chimeras.
How did they know to impersonate loon songs? That information might give us
I mean,
clues.
who else?
I think if I just ask that, they'll say the Duke has kept us informed again, probably.
Yeah. That's who I would impersonate.
So I'm gonna say,
How did they know you had the medallion?
because the Duke has been keeping them informed, I'm gonna try and ask like a little more specific.
I didn't know about the vase.
I'm just saying these are the things we want answers to.
I want to know about spies. That's the most important one. We need our own spies.
I'm gonna
too.
ask out loud,
It's crazy.
what are the status of our spies who still remain infiltrated?
With your opposite painmaker, Talon's death, we only have the Duke remaining.
Oh, who's the Duke?
And you recall that the word painmaker was used in Ezrin's tome. Painmaker was a title Ezrin was given. And the Oni Helfine's response of your opposite implies that Vitria might be a similar title.
Vitria has a bodyguard herself that was killed. Right? No. Can you repeat that answer? With your Painmaker's death?
With your counterpart Painmaker's death.
We killed
Notably,
Ezrin.
with Ezrin's death. With Ezrin's death,
okay,
all we have remaining is the Duke. This also indicates they don't know that Ezrin was restored to life.
Right. So him dying was one of the only ways to free him, maybe, from their clutch. So who is the Duke? That's the most important question now.
Yeah.
Who or where is the Duke?
or yeah, like how can we
Who am?
contact? Where are they? Where were they stationed?
Tell us the essentials about the Duke, or like some kind. Like that's what we need to know.
What was your last update from the Duke? What was the last? What was his
Where-
last report?
Where is the Duke, and what is his primary objective right now?
Where's the Duke and what does he do?
I think
What's his
that's
name,
two
too?
questions. I have one question left.
I'm just spitballing. Don't take
Yeah.
anything I say as literal. Those are just like the essentials, right?
Tell us everything you know about the Duke.
That's
Can
nice.
Yes.
but no, don't ask.
But that's
It's
also
a
not
yes
a
or no
question.
question.
That's not a question.
It's a command.
What is the Duke's current
Status,
objective?
Location.
directive.
I feel
Who?
like we want his name.
How can we locate the Duke?
If you know who the Duke is, can you scry on him? So the who is more important than the where.
Who is the Duke?
Oh, good call.
I like that.
But that would also imply not just his name, but like, who is he? Like, tell us about him, you know?
Who is the Duke to the King Savar?
Or what is like the identity of the Duke?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let me revisit, because I've
That's
cast
good.
the spell before, so let me revisit what I know I like for scrying.
For scrying, what information you might need.
Great. You said with your opposite Painmaker's death, we only have the Duke remaining.
With your counterparts.
Yeah,
Is it-
counterpart or opposite. I think I used the word interchangeably the two times once I said it and once I repeated it, but you guys gained bits of pieces of the word painmaker and the sort of evil demigod goddess that employs painmakers, and there's always two. You've sort of identified that Vitria was a painmaker and Ezrin was a painmaker.
We know of that.
For the Mistress of Pain, Leviatar, who has some recognition and meaning to the Elvish culture.
Can you spell that while we're letting Toby think?
Yeah.
Leviatia. No, AR.
That's a hugely important fact.
Leviatar.
We've heard that name before, right?
And
So Ezrin could have told about the elves.
okay, I'm
Ezra.
going to ask.
I'm saying Ezrin wrong.
How can we make face-to-face contact with the Duke?
We're assuming it's Moira.
And you asked about the Duke, correct? You didn't ask.
How can we
Duchess.
make face-to-face contact with the Duke? And Toby's gonna try and focus on the next thing he wants to do immediately after and kind of let everyone else listen and pay attention.
How do you make face-to-face contact with the Duke?
Convince the Duchess to make introductions. None other than her have seen his true face.
Shape changer of some kind can make form. I will immediately cast Gentle Repose on the Oni.
Her legs have sort of burned up. Her arms are heavily scarred. She's a head. The devils sort of intrinsically burn away to their home plane to be regenerated in days, years, eras, who knows. But you have paused that process. The partially decomposed
Protected
ashen
from
body
decay
of
for 10
Moira,
days.
his bodyguard.
Which,
is-
after 10 days, I can speak with dead again.
Yep.
So we might have another chance at 5 questions in a week and a half.
Ooh, and we gotta talk to that other guy too.
The other guy.
The one is in the bag.
Oh, I'm gonna
guess what?
try to investigate the Chain Devil before he's
Okay.
done.
Okay.
Jax.
It's the Duchess to introductions.
Let me think. Yeah, make a quick investigation check, Telperion.
24.
That's really good. You find, like Rome did with other spine devils, a handful of infernal ash, as well as the dark hell chains he has. He has 3 sort of barbed chains that could be used as a functional whip.
Ooh, tell Perrin, did you find his wolf mask?
What are you talking about?
That was Jax, dude.
Sometimes you say things like they're fact, but they're not.
I mean, I saw his face, guy.
I saw his face look like my old friend Doran, who died 7 years ago, so I think this creature had the ability to show us things we are sad about, or something.
Dang. That means Jax is still alive. Not good.
It just swerves from 0 to so much certainty. You're right, he could still be. I don't know. He's in your head. As long as he's in your head, I think he's alive. Should we go check on the camp?
Yeah, as you guys begin to calm yourselves here, consider going check on the camp. Roulette, we'll get back to you checking in on the Loon songs when we return. I think there's a great chance for bio break real quick.
Bio break.
Whoa! Those devils were devilish.
Cool. Good.
My vase is
Poor
gone.
Rome.
They were
Look
very
at that.
hateable for
The
trying to steal
Divinor
our shit.
vase has been stolen.
Ooh, can we start a short rest while we're doing this also?
You are welcome to pursue a short rest in the immediate future-ish, but while you're actively going to check on other camps and stuff, probably not quite yet, but yeah.
Got it.
Cool. I'm glad your path to the grave combo was
I
successful.
I was potentially going to be bummed if I didn't get to do it at all, but thank you for letting me just kind of shift the focus because
Yeah,
I
I
wanted
think
to be
it's
able
like
to
we
pull
can
that
be
off.
held actions are so restrained anyway. I'm like, you were intending to use a feature, you can still use the feature.
Just because I pulled it off in the battle royale against Jiri and Rome, but I haven't pulled it off in session yet. And it's an average of 102 bonus action wings, 114 with action wings, average damage.
That's crazy. That is crazy. His holy weapon is
2d8.
2d8.
Critted.
So 4d8.
And vulnerable.
Damn. Yeah, crit and vulnerable is the crazy part of that combo. And the ice arrows die, and the arrows die.
Colby.
So it's 6d8 plus crit. So it's really 12d8 plus your modifier times 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
Colby, the D4 guy, did a assassin past grave cleric build. So he was making them vulnerable, getting crits on the first round of combat. I don't remember exactly how he's doing it, but it was pretty cool. That one, like in one round of combat, he got it up to doing like 300 damage or something. But you could only do it once per long rest or something.
Yeah.
Also, I played a lot yesterday on my like main bard file, and Shadowheart wasn't even in my party. Like, she's just not one of the characters I'm using. And I did some just Act 2 stuff, and I like finished what I was doing. She popped up and said, "If you're not going to include me, I'm going to go seek my own destiny," and she left my party.
That's sick. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm hoping I can get her approval more once we invest in her portion of this stuff.
And I'm like, I think within a few hours of being able to be done with Act 2. So that's why I made a new playthrough, because I'm not ready to do Act 3 yet.
So is Act 3 Baldur's Gate? I thought you would be able to reach Baldur's Gate in Act 2, but interesting.
Oh, give no confirmation or denial.
Okay, I get it. I appreciate that, actually.
Steve, wait. I was just saying that Shadowheart left my party yesterday when I was playing.
Ah!
I just wasn't using her at all, and eventually she was like, "If you're not gonna do my stuff, I'm gonna go seek it out."
I figured that would happen.
If you just don't engage with people who aren't in your like main 4.
Yeah. It is funny. Shadowheart just like accidentally became somewhat critical in my party of just like who I'm picking and using. But very funny thing. You both have been to the Underdark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very specific combat early in the Underdark where there's a potential for your party to get knocked back. First time I encountered this enemy,
the bullet.
First time I encountered that enemy, one of my party members, my main character, fell off the cliff.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Second time, I killed it and I stepped across to the mushrooms. 3 of my party members immediately got knocked off into the chasm.
Oh my god.
I immediately loaded the previous save.
Moments like those, I'm not always too eager to load because it's like, oh, I can actually use my Revivify scroll. But because
I never used the Revivify scroll.
Wait, Tammy, you're playing, correct? Or are you playing BG? Okay, no more spoilers or anything. Sorry. We're done.
I'm only in Act 1 still. I'm in the Underdark though, so.
That's right where I am. Yeah.
I'm doing big.
Are you guys still what character did you guys make again? Because you switched their class and stuff around a couple times, right?
Yeah, I am currently a paladin.
Nice.
That's true.
Paladin's like the number 1 most popular class right now.
They're pretty bummed.
I think people just found out about Divine Smite and were like, ooh, big damage numbers.
Yeah, Jiri's
I finally
Eldritch,
got rid of
Paladin now because of Eldritch Smite.
Yeah, I finally got rid of Asterion, and I'm back to Lae'zel.
Nice.
Couldn't take him anymore.
Anytime you do anything nice, he's like disapproves.
I know.
It's kind of annoying.
I wanted him for like lockpicking, but then like Lae'zel's just as good with her like the gift like
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the astral knowledge. Yeah.
yeah, just set it to dexterity and she's like as good.
I need to remember to use that more. I fucking never use that. And that's such a good thing of, oh, everyone failed a history check. Oh, give her astral knowledge and then go try that. I never remember to use
I'm
that.
playing a Gith Yankee as my Dark Urge character I started this morning.
Very cool.
So I've been using that a couple times.
I always have Gale and Astarion in my party, and I switch between Karlach and Lae'zel. Or I'm sorry, yeah, that's the two. Lae'zel also disapproves of a lot of good things, though.
But she likes it when you like push like a dwarf into the ocean, and she's like, "Oh hell yeah!"
I would just helped a bunch of gnomes, and she would have hated it. So,
like, oh, you're spending time on these weaklings.
She literally like it was like we started a mission, and it's like we could help the gnomes or we could not, and she's like, if we waste time helping these gnomes, it's easy.
She's at least funny. Astarion's not funny.
She's awesome. My character, I'm romancing Astarion, and he's definitely more interesting in like cutscenes and stuff.
Hmm.
I want to invest in his storyline someday because I'm sure it's like just the stuff they're dealing with him seems super intriguing and appealing and stuff.
I found
but
out
you
some
have to
cool
like
stuff
kind of
yesterday.
commit to him, or even play him as an origin character. Maybe would be an awesome playthrough because then you wouldn't have to worry about his approval. You can do whatever you want, and the others will be dependent on that. That could be fun.
It's really interesting because the primary motive for him is like he wants more power, and it's so cool to go through a thing and he always anytime you have the option for more power and you don't take it, he's like, well, that was a waste because of his storyline and like it's such a fun. Usually, like I've never heard of someone playing that way of like I need more power because I have to deal with this background origin thing. Like in any D&D campaign I've ever been.
Yeah, and
so,
it's not just like aimless, vague, power hungry. It's like,
yeah,
no, I have to get more power than X. Like,
yeah, literally, and it's super fun to like have that as a pressure. So that
is cool.
Ooh, one other fun thing that happened to me was I accidentally broke my oath, and then I had to like pay a bunch of money to get it back.
I want to do an Oathbreaker run. I don't know how to like trigger that or whatever, but like I want to do that in a future playthrough. Maybe for my Dark Urge playthrough would be a fun.
I did it by accident, and I didn't mean to, but there was no going back.
You don't save scrub?
I do if it's like, oh, I want to see what happens if I choose this option, but I don't actually want to choose this option.
I'm like F5 and F whatever, F8, 9. Like I just sit there and I just toggle. Every 10 steps of F5ing, and then I go back and like delete all the saves.
That's funny.
You can limit the amount of saves so it's not taking up extra space, so you don't have to do that.
Oh.
You can limit it to like 10 quick saves.
I hadn't thought about that. Because they'll start just deleting the old ones?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is that like a setting?
Yeah, it's in the general setting. It'll have that for autosaves and quick saves. There are two different options. You can have a lot or have few. Having few is not that bad, and it saves your computer stuff. So.
Okay. I'm going to change up the music as we start to dive back in here. Roulette. We'll start with you. You make your way quickly to where you know the Loon Song tent is, which is not very difficult to find because number one, you know generally where the elves are encamped, but also there is one tent that is larger, more refined than the surroundings. You rush toward it, and two Selethar immediately sort of with very thin, elegant spears just block your passage and step to prevent you from continuing further. Please, what is your business?
There's been an assault on the camp. They were impersonating the Loon songs. I just want to make sure Minerva and Mathros and the Aranil are safe.
The royal family is accounted for. We must prevent your continuation from this point for their safety. We are aware of the attack. We have sent Selethar to scout the surroundings. What news do you bring of whatever chaos has unfurled?
The witch, she works for the other witch, a bunch of devils. They're all slain. They made off with an artifact, but everyone's okay.
Devils, you say?
Some Oni witch. thing. Bunch of devils got summoned or something.
Does this seem to be some sort of assault by northern nations or from the Hells directly?
No, this was a Durastian incursion directly at us at the move. Someone... When I let that word slip, the big D word.
The word Durastian?
Yeah. Can I make an insight check into these two elvish individuals?
Absolutely, you may. You don't see twinges in either of their facial expressions to indicate like wide pupils to see if you bought their lie, or a sort of tell that they might instinctively make unpreventable, trying to withhold information. They seem to be diligently gathering information for dispersal to their troops.
I will, feeling the old slip of my tongue, Durastian or devils or something. I'm looking for wealth or artifacts or something, but everyone's okay. I don't know what this land is doing to the people around here, or what evils it's inviting in.
Very well. I will have either the general or the Aeronol find you and the other Forsaken Winds. Should they require more information, they may likely want to discuss with the other moot leaders first, but we'll make your account told. Thank you.
This is like just flat campground.
Yeah, I mean, there's moving people and sort of loose, like, stockade features and stuff that, like, sort of section off areas that you can't just, like, simply walk around them. You'd probably have to navigate through sort of, like, basic structures of organization. But
I'm going to walk away a little bit, just, like, out of eyesight of them. I'm going to drop Moby 4, and then I'm going to put on, well, I'm just going to go 80 feet straight up. No one else is there, so you don't really see what happens here, but I will go 80 feet straight up in the air. Headphones and goggles on, and I want Moby 4 to just go sneak back to the tent. I just want to make sure those dudes are not like, oh yeah, Duress is here. We know Duress is here.
So no one sees you, but you go up into the sky just to get a visual of surroundings and look in, and Moby 4 begins to skitter along the grass, mostly unseen, or virtually entirely unseen, because people aren't looking for a little metal ball walking around, and gets toward the Loon Song encampment. Do you go in?
No, I just want to be like right, like proximity of those two guards.
Okay. Got it. He posts up there. It. He, she, they. The rest of you, as you begin to sort of collect yourselves with Kinsalo now at your side in your campground, and begin to venture out to check on other encampments, a few of Dinah's Terracore captains come to check on you with a few small collections of Terracore soldiers. A few bird folk rush to Kinsalo to converse. The moot leaders right now are not seen anywhere, but you can tell generally a ripple is being felt through this entire campground of several hundred individuals, to passing along information and start doing scouting rounds, and that we've been infiltrated by someone. So there is slow, organized, but clearly somewhat urgent, though hushed, motion beginning throughout this camp.
Do any of us need any quick healing before we hopefully have time for a short rest?
I took no damage.
Okay.
I'm just gonna use my good berries to heal my damage.
Okay.
Poor Rome. Rome, how you doing? How you said about your vase? I'm surprised they didn't look for my my glass bottle. I guess they wanted yours. They didn't see it.
Rome is like filling with tears, and she uses plant growth to try and like grow herself a Divinor vase.
That's even better. I pat you on the head.
Yeah,
Even
a sort
better.
of a vase-like shape out of brambles. You're certainly welcome to do that. Okay. What are you guys doing? Anyone specifically you're hoping to go discuss things with, talk to? Are you waiting for people to come to you?
One other thing, how does my does my magic change at all? Like losing the vase, because that was my spellcasting focus, so I can use it something else. But like, does that change?
It
Like
doesn't
other than losing its item, like
it does not functionally as long as you switch it, because you have your what's it called, your druidic cloak. What is that item? Nature's Mantle.
Yeah.
I know you can use that as a spell casting focus for druidic stuff. I think you have your wand that you got from Morrigan in the Feywild. You can use that. So you definitely have a few spell casting options. You just can't cast through the Divinor vase like you're used to. And what's perhaps more disconcerting is now, should you be slain, who knows what would happen to your spirit and essence should it not be captured in a vessel. Sorry for the different.
No, that was perfect. I'll just say I'll say to the group at large. I'm gonna go check on my family if anyone wants to come with me. Or you could stay here and keep vigil. It's up to you all.
I'll wait here in case any of the others come to inquire.
I will relay the information we learned from
everything wide open. There's nothing to be concealed anymore.
Jerry, do you want to come or do you want to stay?
Oh, Gartobi.
All right. If Kinsala wants to come, he can come, and
he will stay at your side.
Okay. I'll do the trek that Roulette just did. But
okay, yeah, you go over to the Elvish encampments and you very quickly identify likely the royal family's tent and are able to approach. The guards that were blocking Roulette's passage do allow you permission. Although there was some infiltration, you don't notice them like stop you and interrogate you before allowing you through. There's still sort of an item of, oh, a royal family member, immediately let them pass, because also no information was given yet that Minerva and Mathros' visages was used to buy. So they're not immediately suspicious yet of sort of illusory appearances.
Can I make just a brief perception check on these guards, like, through Moby 4?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll perception.
Nice.
And your Moby 4, is it based on a bat? Do you get advantage on anything specifically?
No, he's a spider. So
spider, got it.
Yeah. And it's just it's plus PB times 8 or times 2.
His name's Peter.
26 is very clearly you're close enough to gain like very clear audible from them, and visual certainly, but you're hearing their sort of aimless conversation back and forth with each other on, oh man, they roused that garrison of guards. They must really be worried about this situation if they're making rounds. So you just hear their, nothing arouses your suspicion or anything in their words, but they continue their post at guard, and then you see Telperion come up with Kinsalo, and they allow him entry.
Perfect.
I just want to walk in, and are all three of them together?
You do see flanked with Elena Morwin. Wait,
Elena.
No, Elena. Last name Elena. Last
Morwing, right?
Morwing. Yes, Morwing. Yes. Wow, I don't like that. My brain just forgot that. Elena Morwing and a few Selethar attendants and Captain Din Verdon, who you know was the captain of the Selethar at Mythindil Gray's End under Elena's. He was the one who had the vine, the lotus blade sheath that could like whip him around to locations.
We fought the trees.
You just see a very impressive array of individuals gathered around a central war table within this tent, where various offshoots of rooms are off of that main room. So you do see your mother, your father, your sister, and several other sort of attendants and people of import just in heavy discussion. And first thing is your father, Mathros, has sort of view of the tent opening when you walk through, and, oh, good, son, you're here. Is it true that your encampment was the one attacked?
Yes, it is. And I want to think at Minerva. Minerva, what day did my hair change color?
She thinks back to you almost instinctively, even if she doesn't necessarily realize it will fall successfully to your mind. But she says, the day of Mother's coronation. Why?
And then I think at my dad without responding to her. What changed after Mother's coronation for me?
You see a more surprised look from your father, just not accustomed to you pushing thoughts in his brain. And he says audibly to you, your silver hair.
Kemp was attacked by two devilish kinds, and they were bearing the appearance of Maethros and Minerva. Specifically.
You see Minerva look up from the notes she's looking through at you, and then your mother, and then Maethros similarly looks to your mother, both of them like very shocked expressions. And your father wears his emotions sometimes on his sleeve, even though he's regal and disciplined. But your sister, to have such a stark reaction like that in her normally diplomatic face, shows like real fear that they were disguised as us. And the Aranil immediately just looks up to you. Son, I need you to describe everything that happened.
And I'll go like point A to.
Yeah. Also, around this point, I think Toby forgot to mention this. Doesn't want to chase after, so he's going to cast a quick sending. It's probably the lowest stakes sending I've ever sent to Telpyrin, and I'll just say, also be sure to remind the leaders that I have interrogation magic if we need to interrogate the lot of people here.
I'll share that too. But yeah, no, I'll draw attention to the fact that they approached, they asked for Toby, they knew me by name, saying they weren't here to talk to me. They asked to see the medallion, they stole the vase, they used spell scrolls, devilish kind. And I will just paint the connection of who this Oni is to us, like we've seen her once before. And then this also share the speak with dead questions and responses, and our current focus on the Duke being number one. Seemingly, maybe there's one person who can shift faces, and is among
the Aranil. Your mother looks to Minerva and saying, "Are you getting all this down?" And you see Minerva writing just extremely fast. Of course, Aranil, and says, "Disperse this information to the scouts, our historians. Reach out to Nightlamp Palace. See if our scholars can find anything of note about Duke." Archduke and Duke is a word often used in association with the Hells. Even if we don't have much connection to their histories, maybe that can facilitate some sort of avenue for research. Then she turns back to you. I must share this with the Beast King and the Herald immediately. It appears that this Divinor is clearly of enough import to send ambushers into a hopeless mission where they would likely be slain unless they had means of magically transporting themselves elsewhere. Could Divinor... How desperately are they looking for this? What missing piece is it to what plans they have? Could Divinor be instrumental in their ambition in this entire war? Why invade Creatia? You just see her beginning to slowly begin from talking to other people to slowly more internalizing, vocalizing her internal thoughts a little bit before she thinks the better of herself and begins to just think to herself.
I'll also make a connection hearing what she said. Ironically enough, hours before we went to bed, Toby committed a ritual to investigate his medallion because he's been curious about it. We were starting to wonder if the medallion warranted attacking Falls Hollow, which is a relatively useless location at the far end of Creatia, and they sent a Talon to kill Gallus. We suspect that Gallus is connected with the Talon, Laduras, but to warrant. We don't even know, they didn't mention medallion then. And then what also concerns me is the intimate knowledge they showed of our people. Ezrin seems perhaps to have given information, whether knowingly or not. Maybe he's the source of some of their insights into to bother impersonating the two of you. And somehow they were able to track down that it's Toby with the medallion. And somehow she was able to sense the medal in Rome, who wasn't even her initial target.
You see the Aranel immediately turn to your father and say, journey with a few of the Selethar and have them make use of the mirror to travel back to Moonset Grove and check on Ezrin's whereabouts immediately. And you also gain a bit of information that, they're using the mirror transportation as a portable means of making it back home if they need.
I don't really know that they have any more information, so that all delivered. I'll probably just head back to camp.
Before you walk out, she also asks one final question. Or actually, she's in sort of going into monarch mind of sort of beginning to manage things. But Minerva looks up from her scribbling before you step out and says, brother, you said the person disguised as me was asking about the medallion, and you all were discussing the medallion previously before you rested for the night. Did you find anything interesting about it? Insights gleaned.
Yes, Toby's ritual was successful, but the attackers asking after the medallion was the first time anyone has ever shown an interest in seeing it. I've frankly neglected it a small amount because I wasn't closest with Gallus. I didn't watch the medallion particularly go to Toby. So anyway, I would say that it is up to Toby to share what he learned through the ritual. I'm sure he would share with a select few.
I don't want to arouse discomfort from prying, but I would like to make some log of what was learned so that we might utilize that information to our advantage.
Why don't you come back with us then, and you can ask him tonight.
Very well. Scribe, and she calls over another person, hands her notes to them for them to take it from there, and she will just gather a couple things, sword at her hip, spellbook on her side satchel, and will journey with you out of the tent back to Toby, Rama, and your camp. Before we get there, Roulette, are you just continuing to perceive you in the air, perceiving through Moby 4's senses?
No, I would have taken that off. Can I just do like a perception check, like essentially what?
I'll give you advantage because of your elevation.
I'm just looking around for any shifty shit happening. Make that a 19.
Make that a 19. You do see shifty shit in terms of sort of the shifting of foot traffic around a particular location as a large dark tan furred dire lion with beautiful golden mane begins to just slowly step through the camp, occasionally discussing things with individuals, speaking common and primordial languages to various individuals in this form before mouthing some commands to nearby Selethar, and then slowly making his way to the Citadel and just very regally and almost unconcernedly with how calm he is, making his way up the steps toward the Moot Center. And you just see the swath of sort of the ripple effect that takes place when people start regarding his arrival on the scene.
I will start walking in the same direction as Telperion and Minerva and Bird Boy, just 80 feet above them.
I also make sure to share with my mom what Toby had sent me.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, for interrogation purposes. She definitely will disperse that information for consideration. How about Jiri and Rome? What are you guys up to right now with Toby? Because I think you had said you're guarding Toby or sticking around the encampment.
Keeping one eye on Rome and one eye on Toby.
Okay.
So you're looking in two different directions?
Trying to.
It'll
It's
be easier when I
suspicion.
go up close to Rome and am willing to talk if she wants to talk, or let her have her space if she's struggling right now.
I was actually wondering, how far away is that tree that I had found last session from this location, Chris?
The one that had seemingly some very slight semblance of life was probably a 5 minutes walk south of your current encampment.
Toby, if you don't mind, I'm going to go on a walk. You're more than welcome to come with me.
Would you prefer the company?
Sure.
All right.
Actually, perhaps maybe Toby would be helpful with this.
Anything I can do to help.
Jiri, as you are keeping one eye on Rome and Toby Rama, they discuss and begin to walk in a direction.
Oh, wait for me, guys.
Yeah, I'd
I
go back and
chase after them.
wave you on.
Okay. Where are you walking, Rome?
I am walking towards that tree that had some life still left to it.
Perfect. You make it there, and you find it partially ingrained, its roots still buried in the ground, but almost like slightly pulled up from the ground, as if it sort of was recoiling from the scarred nature of the devastation that took this forest one time. But you do see the familiar light shade of brown coloration on this tree, indicating that although most of its bark has become charcoal, there is still life in this tree.
Toby and Jiri, I intend on awakening this tree. I had thought that perhaps I would take some time, but with my vase gone, we'll need more support. Will you support me as I cast this spell? It takes quite a bit of time.
Oh yeah, I'll watch your back. I do agree. We need more allies, and so I will also summon a being from Orin.
Once it's awoken, I will cast plant growth to hopefully increase its vitality.
On your tree?
On the tree, yes.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And I cast awaken on this tree.
Okay, 1 second.
I love that Alex. I think Alex was saying that just narrating what she was doing, and then Jiri responded to it. So now I just have this idea of Rome just narrates, "I shall now." and it's clear to all of us she's just this immortal being who's standing, but then Jiri thinks it's conversation. He's like, oh, okay.
Sorry if I missed anything, but yes, Rome, flanked by Toby Rama and Jiri as company, protection, some extra muscle, whatever you need from them, whatever you're looking from them.
Extra
you
muscle,
begin
yes.
to reach out. Yeah, our two weakest, lowest strength characters. You begin to sort of inherently communicate to this tree and begin to awaken it. And slowly, I believe over the course of 8 hours.
8 hours?
Yeah.
Holy
slowly, and we'll get back to what else is going on in the time frame you're beginning to do this, but you begin to see slowly but surely, like a thawing piece of ice, brown begin to slowly spread through the tree. Yes, Telperion.
We want to rules committee check something. We just want to make sure Alex knows something about that
I thought
spell.
I knew this spell, and there's a material component for this one.
Yeah, I'm willing to spend $1,000.
$1,000.
dollars.
Oh yes. What? Yeah. So as part of that, Rome, that's a great question. Is it just 1,000 gold, or is it something worth 1,000 gold, or what's it written like? An agate worth 1,000. So what I will say is, you will have to, because he's the only person in this entire camp with a gemstone worth 1,000 gold.
Mirage!
You have someone go fetch Mirage to facilitate the casting of the spell. who will make available a gemstone worth 1,000 gold for your use. If you pay
Wonderful.
1,000
Thank you,
gold.
Mirage, for coming in clutch in this moment.
But of course, make sure to let me schedule my wake up for a few hours later. So much chaos and commotion has woken this one's catnap, and this one does not. It cannot be worth it, right? Whatever is happening here is unimportant. And just slowly, sleepily starts to walk away. Even his sleeping middle of the night appearance is just gaudy as hell. He clearly, trimmed his hair and stuff, his mane and his fur before coming here. And it's like this sleepiness is almost an act because it probably took him time to appear this nice. But he will make that of use for you. You can reduct 1,000 gold worth of stuff from your inventory, and you begin to cast Awaken. Toby, Rama, and Jiri, as you're at Rome's side in this, are there things you're wanting to be doing?
I'll ask Rome, what do you think the most pivotal moments of this will be? The beginning, the end, sometime during the middle? Because I can give you some more potency for about an hour.
I have not cast the spell in this particular lifetime, Toby. So I would assume that the whole journey is of importance. But perhaps the tail end will require a little bit more oomph.
So I'll have enhance ability ready for the culmination.
Okay. Perfect.
After an hour, I'm assuming we can rest. At least Toby and I.
Yes, absolutely. Short rests all around for anyone that wants to take them.
Toby, can you guidance throughout?
I mean, I can. Yeah, I can do that, and then at the end do enhance ability. So yeah, that's pretty active from Toby. So maybe I won't short rest, and I don't totally need one, so that's fine.
Jiri will short rest then.
Notably,
while watching you guys.
Yeah, functionally your long rest was able to be completed overnight, but so it's like the sun might be starting to peek over the horizon in the coming hours, but you're welcome to do a short rest.
Jerry. Great. Can I retrospect something?
Sure.
Very low. Player wise, I wanted to get back to the group because I thought we were collaborating. Knowing that they're doing this, can I just have hung out with my family for a little bit?
Of course.
Yeah. I'll just say me and Consalo short rested there.
Absolutely. Perfect.
After short rest, I'm going
to
one up Rome and summon a creature faster than her because it only takes me 10 minutes to summon a mighty steed from the elemental plane of air. I will have to go get my bottle from Roulette at some point, so I'll probably be I don't know. You guys stay here. I'll be right back. Don't get in trouble. And then sprint, find Roulette, grab her, yank the bottle out of her bag, explain nothing, and then just run away.
Explain nothing.
If you go and chase down Roulette, does he find you?
He does not.
At some point, do you touch back down?
He does not find me immediately, but I think after 2 minutes or 5 minutes of Delpiri not coming back out, I will go and seek you guys out, see you walking to whatever tree you're walking to. And what the three of you see is Roulette quite literally just walking in the middle of the air, 50 feet up in the air. And then at some point she'll see you, and as if she's just descending a set of stairs, she will start walking down towards you, and then we'll touch down, click her heels, and is Rome casting something?
Wait a minute. When did you learn to fly?
Oh, it's not flying. It's just the boots. It's a Minerva trick. These Loon Song levitating loafers.
Oh my god! Don't put Loon Song and loafer in the same sentence.
Thought you might like that, Jiri.
I like the idea that I'm not there to dislike it, so Jerry's.
Sorry, one more second.
I actually like Declan updates because then we can
No, the Jerry, they let me kind of just walk on the air. I gave you a tour of them. Did you need something?
No time to explain. Give me your bag.
Sure. You need to
And my
talk to
bottle.
that guy?
I need my bottle of Ornair.
Your bottle.
Bottle of Ornair.
I will reach into the bag and I will bring out the bottle and produce it to him.
I'll snatch it from you and run away.
Can I remind everybody about something? Because I was just rereading my notes. We investigated this bottle together, didn't we? And found out it's just regular air.
No, I did that.
Oh, you
I
did
think
that.
only Roulette was able to sleight of hand sneak it away from Jiri long enough to inspect it, and it is absolutely a mundane bottle.
But only Roulette knows that.
Only Roulette knows that right now.
Good to know.
I'm going to be following Jiri very closely to see what he's doing with this bottle.
And I will sit down and I will begin casting Find Greater Steed. And at the very end of the 10 minutes of this like meditation process, I will like uncork it for a second and then recork it. Just gotta use a little bit of Ornair.
Roulette, make an Arcana check while he's doing this.
You know I'm adding +4 to this, whatever it is. 18!
18. As he's doing this and conjuring, you just see the slightest hint of magical steam slowly sort of pouring out of Jiri's limbs and out of his tabby and cloak. You can just see that he's willing the magical steam that he uses into power of some sort. And then as he uncorks and corks the lid on the bottle with just a little Ornair, what happens, Jiri?
The steam kind of like materializes and it forms into the shape of a long kind of carpet with tassels on each end. It's blue and gold, very like ornate rug, very similar to the one that we borrowed or took from where were we?
The Feywild?
In the Feywild, yes. And it appears, and wait, can I have everybody that's there, can everybody make an animal handling check for me?
Yes.
Rome, you would have guidance on this because I've been casting guidance on you.
And then the animal handling is just a D4, right? Or the guidance.
So
yeah.
25.
Holy
5
shit.
total for Rome. Jiri 11, Toby Rama 15. Yeah, so Jiri, upon the summoning, what's going on?
It goes straight to Rome and starts doing like figure eights like around your legs and like comes up to your face, and it like the end of the carpet has two tassels here, and when it goes across the ground, it kind of makes this like snake-like pattern, like sinusoidal. It kind of like goes like this, you know what I mean, like a wave.
Yeah.
And it waves over, to Rome and starts doing like figure eights around her legs, and then like starts like licking her face with like the side of the rug, like the front part of it.
This is
And
while Rome is focusing on casting a very, very big spell.
yeah. And then who's it go to next? I think Toby. Then it goes over to Toby, and when it goes over to Toby, it flies this time, and it kind of makes like the sound of like a drone like flying by, like bzzz, as the like tassels start to like spin, almost like
my gosh,
like propeller blades. It like propellers over to you, Toby, and then also it doesn't do the figure eights between your legs, but it still like licks your face.
I'll rub it.
Yeah, and it like kind of acts like a cat, like
arching,
leans
arches
into
and
it.
like yeah.
I'm picturing literally the flying carpet from Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Like,
Yeah.
It's literally just a carpet, right? Like there's no head.
No, it's just a carpet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
but seems very
Oh my-
animated and lively and
Yeah, it
with a
acts kind of like a
personality.
dog. Yeah.
Is that its pattern and coloring?
Yes.
Oh my
I
God.
have a token for it.
Yes.
I'm not there to ask what it's named.
Oh, guys, this is Shaggy. He's a shag stallion.
Jesus.
The shag stallion.
Good shaggy.
So this is what my magic facilitates now. In your mind.
I thought that was the carpet talking.
Oh my god.
And Jerry will like fly around on it for a while, and then like
Yeah, you're able
land
to
and, like-
stand on it and ride it, and it moves fast. You are able to ride it, and it books it.
and then it'll be like, well, let's try it out.
Okay.
Just hang on, hold tight.
I will mount the carpet.
You're able to mount the carpet, the large creature that it is, and as soon as it feels that you have a firm hold, it flies, it dashes, flying 180 feet in a very quick serpentine pattern, and then allowing you to step off of it.
Yeah, it's like you ride it kind of like a surfboard. You know what I mean? It like,
Nice.
but it makes like that buzzing noise as it goes through the air.
I'll make my way over to Rome, and Rome, we'll get that vase back. I don't know where it is, but we'll get it back.
I know we will. I'm sure there has been a lifetime in which my vase has been stolen from me. And I'm sure that we will be able to return to it.
Very well.
So anyway, Minerva, like I was saying, you can just talk to Toby and he'll tell you everything, and no one is here at the camp. So I don't know what I do. I guess I just hang out with my
Minerva
brother.
just impatiently raises her arm straight into the sky, and a small mote of azure, beautiful cerulean blue mote appears, and you see poking out from various tree branches Selethar responding to her request for aid. And yes, princess, she says, the other Forsaken Winds? This way, your majesty. And so they will direct you to where they had scouted the Forsaken Winds heading. This way, brother.
What did
You are able to meet up with the rest of them.
As we walk, I try to hold up my palm. Was that a cantrip? I know that word now.
Yes, I forget off the top of my head. Did I write my prestidigitation magic in the book I made available
Yes.
for you?
I can only do this so far, and like I click my fingers, and then a delayed second later, you hear a click.
That is a trick. Yes. If you just imagine, I find it's helpful to just recall the night lamps spread out through the moonset, and just conjure into being a mote of light.
I get really close to my hand. All right, and like it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, and then it happens so bright it like kind of blinds me for a second. Like, oh, got it. And then I walk and I do my new trick, and I put it in Kinsalo's hand.
I have made the Selethar. I've requested that they respond to that signature as me snapping my fingers or ringing a bell or something so dismissive and condescending, but rather just to flag their attention. So you might make use of the same if you wish.
I'm like kind of, as I walk, I'm so enamored. I flick a thumb and a finger together, and each time I do, the flame like transitions to the next finger, and I'm just kind of playing with it as we go.
Very cool. But you guys are able to meet up with the rest of your group. Toby Rama is assisting Rome's sort of mind state. Jiri and Roulette are taking turns interacting with a flying carpet, and you guys arrive. Kinsalo also bids you farewell for now. He wanted to go check in with Captain Altari and High Commander Rillis.
What's with this rug?
It is not a rug.
It's Jiri's shag stallion.
It's a Jalandi shag stallion.
Jollandy Shag Stallion.
Where did you get it?
I summoned it from Jalan, from Orin.
We watched it happen. He sat down, opened that little jar of his, and out popped this flying carpet. Sorry, Shag Stallion.
It looks
Imagine Telperion, upon hearing this, immediately looked to Roulette, the logical one for okay, tell me what really happened. And there's like a moment of confusion as she confirms what Jerry said.
It's weird. What's it gonna do for you?
Be our friend.
Sure.
We need more allies, Telperion. Things are getting serious. We
Speak
can't
to your
let-
friend. That's a good point. Toby, give me incense.
Give you
Jerry.
incense?
Yeah, give me some. Jerry, what were you saying? We need more friends? Like
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, well, yes. But also, we gotta get Rome's vase back. So we're gonna need allies to fight.
I agree.
Can I give you 25 gold worth?
I think I only need, and Telperion says, I only need 10 gold worth.
Boom, you got it.
I gotta start working on something.
I have a hefty pouch, so I give you a little handful.
I'll give you 10 gold back for it. So what are we doing here?
I will, as he's doing his incense thing, I will pull Minerva off to the side. Of note, I'm assuming Minerva's taller than me, just for
Yes, yeah, very identical height to Telperion, actually.
perfect. I am hovering 3 feet off the ground when I walk. No, not 3 feet, 3 inches. 3 inches. Sorry,
Inches, yeah,
3 inches off the ground. And I will walk up to Minerva and just say, "Are you and your father okay? Apparently, whatever came here was impersonating the two of you, and I guess did you notice anything weird leading up to, I guess, bedtime or whatever it was? Anyone weird at the moot?"
No, I had heard that they used my father and I's appearance to get close to you all, and I'm so sorry that we were not able to foresee this coming and that they made off with the Mythaline's artifact, I'm told. I don't think anyone was, of course, unless they could constantly shift their form, we might not have ever been the wiser, but I suspect they had known about our appearances for long enough to infiltrate effectively. We don't seem to think they were here in camp. Everyone had been accounted for, numbers had been taken, positions and organizations had been noted. I think they seem to had come here this night, just waltzing into the camp and through brazenly. Because we were sleeping, some of the surrounding Selethar and certainly the beast folk and bird folk wouldn't have thought much differently. They could have thought we were simply walking and discussing matters. Unfortunately, not sure how they gained insight into us, but it sounds like Ezrin was somewhat an avenue for them to get intel from at some point. But
Of course. Well, as long as you're safe, as long as everyone's safe. I think we're just doing a bit of regrouping and fortifying some new friends as I gesture over to the carpet. But
fascinating. I didn't know you all had found a flying carpet.
It's not a flying carpet.
Found is one word for it. It's a steed of sorts from the elemental plane of air, courtesy of our royal friend Mr. Jiri over here.
Fascinating. But anyway, Toby Rama and Minerva will just continue discussing with you a little bit, Toby Rama, about the events, and she will ask you if you are willing to share the insights you gleaned from your divination spell that revealed some information about the artifact.
First, I will send a ping to Telperion. Do we feel we're in the clear? Okay.
100%.
Yes, and I will start divulging my history with the medallion. I will display it and show off the sun that's split and it furls off into the text. I'll read the description and then end with the kind of reverse through time process that was learning this thing's history and how it was not mined or smelted to become this sort of metal. It was something organic from a scale, it seemed. Once it was fashioned, something was placed in it. Some sort of power, essence, soul. I'll describe the visual of it, and then that it's been passed down by Gallus's wife's lineage for generations and generations, and it was kind of daunting how long it's been passed down.
I'm going to give Minerva a history check. You don't know she's doing this, so you can't necessarily benefit her. It is a very high DC, but we will see if she's able to know anything.
Come on, sister. Minerva. Want to use an inspiration so bad.
That is an above table thing that you can do, even if your character doesn't know she's searching her mind for history. Inspiration's an above table thing if you wanted to.
I'll use.
I have 2, and I'm willing to do one on something that's very personal to Toby, but unless you want to use yours, I will.
I will. You can use yours, and you have a say in what one of mine gets thrown to at some point in the future.
Okay, I'll use one, and now I have 1 inspiration.
Okay.
No way.
Oh,
That's so lame.
Wow, that was
But-
almost a 25. Which was the DC?
Which is okay. That's how the dice roll. It's not for right now.
She looks at the glyph inscribed on it, not reaching for the medallion in any way. I can't say I've seen this inscription, or I recognize the text as celestial, certainly because of recent interaction with Talia's knowledge of it, but I have never seen this symbol before. You say it seems to have been carved from some scale of some great beast?
And I'll do my best to, with words, describe the visual of. It was this very dark thing. It was made into this more dull gray metal material, and forged, scribed to then house something.
Okay. She'll just take the information seriously, lingering on every word. You've never had such an attentive audience. And she just continues to nod her head and interesting. Very well. Maybe I can look into something to shed any further light on this. I wonder what the state of the world was when this
Can
was
Toby make some
carved.
sort of a check? Because I think that was the first time I've seen someone take damage from it. And I think Michael understands how that relates to the text. I want to know if I can merge those together.
Yeah. Go ahead and make an insight check.
Can I give myself some guidance in this moment?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Insight. And I'll add a d4.
I think that happened while I was in the bathroom. I didn't know this was. I didn't know this happened.
You didn't know what happened?
I didn't know the medallion hurt a devil until Steve just told me. I was in the. I think I was like out of the room.
The spine devil had reached for it, successfully not grabbed it out of Toby's hands, but grabbed it, and then something psychic took hold of it, and it ripped its own face apart and killed itself.
I heard you later reference the face thing, and I was like, "Oh, Rome did something scary or something." Oh, dang!
So that's not an innate property of the divin or metal. Then that must be something of the medallion that causes psychic damage.
And
that is a very astute observation.
I want to posit what I'm thinking and see if this is what I'll actually learn depending on this check.
Can I?
Yeah.
Before you proceed with that, I want to bring Alex in on something. Alex, the text that we do know that's on the medallion says something to the effect of like, a heart both wild and true can like essentially hold the medallion. That's Mike's theory, and I just wanted you weren't there when we got the medallion, so I wanted to make that
and
clear.
That's what I'm diving into here. Is the first sentence is, must a soul both wild and true bear thy forsaken quarter, and then it goes on, lest anguish old calls ire new. So I think I'm gonna finally try and
Compel them toward disorder.
make the flowery language a little more sense. I think a wild and true soul has to be the one to bear the Forsaken Quarter, I think is what Toby thinks now would be a more common way to say that.
With your high insight, you absolutely recognize that the sort of internal just bearing of a devil's philosophy is certainly so different from your own that if you can hold it harmlessly, but a devil who is lawful, dutiful, will never forsake its cause or will never change its way of thinking, and is pursuing evil means to some degree of the hells, you do think that is a point in favor of, oh, so lawful evil type individuals cannot touch it lest they be compelled toward disorder, or at least be racked with some sort of psychic damage that just did noble things to their mind.
And I'll try and say that out loud to the scholars around. Yes, Jerry.
That's so funny.
Minerva will just also say, dire warning. Just puzzling to herself.
If the conversation's pausing there, I'm gonna, after a few minutes, call everyone's attention. Everyone, come look at this. Jerry's new carpet rug thing inspired me to try this
It's not
out.
a carpet. It's a shag stallion.
You come over, and Telperion is kind of like kneeling on the ground, or like he's got a spell book that Minerva gave him in one hand, and he's got like a little fire going, and he's got like some like charred. He's taken incense and like made a pattern, and the incense has like hung in the air while the spell's being conducted. And he's like, "All right, everyone, what is the coolest animal you can think of? Give me an idea right now."
Shag stallion.
A dragon.
All right, I was thinking a griffin, and none of you beat a griffin, so I got this really cool. Watch.
Dragon beats a griffin.
And
A shag stallion beats a dragon.
That's basic.
stop bickering. You're gonna mess up the spell.
I've played that
And
game.
rock, paper, scissors.
I've played, stallion, griffin, dragon.
Yeah.
Told you all too soon. And as you guys are talking about Shag Griffin Stallion, there's like this light starts like illuminating, then like mixing with the smoke of the incense, and it goes, and there's like a puff, and like a bunch of feathers pop out from the incense, and we're all looking at like a little creature thing, and Telperion says, "Minerva, what? That's not right. What happened?" And I won't even. So what you guys look down at is, I need the light to work. We look down at a
little
pudgy
puff
baby
ball.
griffin is like this chonky puff ball of a griffin, with this little head, and it's based off an owl and a lion cub, and it's sitting there, and it like goes, and its like wings puff out, and they're like really kind of too small for its frame, and then it just rolls over.
Oh, brother. Just because you write out the script of the spell doesn't mean it is still affixed in your mind. You cannot let your spellcasting efforts be distracted by your friend's conversation.
So it is Jerry's fault that this
Hey,
thing is
Telperion,
wrong.
if you work on that double chin of yours, maybe you'll be able to write it.
What are you talking about?
Oh, nobody tell him.
I thought there was something amiss, but I wasn't paying too close enough attention. I see it now.
Wait, did I just go make a report to my family looking like this?
Oh, did you? Oh, that's too bad.
Talk about love and family, not saying anything.
That's too bad. That's Mike laughing. Telperion's not laughing. He's like, so I went to and made a report like this, and then I just created that creature. I need more incense.
You might find that the first time you summon it is one of the most meaningful. I wouldn't be so rash to change its form.
Well, and I go over and I pick it up, and It's just like a big loaf. Like, it's not gonna aid me in combat or anything.
You might be surprised. They can have their advantages. I haven't summoned my familiar in quite some time, but I miss it.
I needed like a cool griffin like perched on my shoulder, and now I have this thing. This like, and then I think he like shakes it a little, and like it just like kind of farts a little bit. Ugh.
Amazing.
Wait, no, Telperion, put it down. It can work as a steed. And I'll drop Daisy on the ground, and I'll have Daisy go and mount the tiny little griffin.
Daisy, the small construct, well, medium when she's in her normal form, but she can become smaller, will try and mount the small griffinling and almost crush it beneath her weight.
Well, leave him alone. Leave him alone. Don't hurt him.
Are we, we're running a menagerie with our group, I think, now. Let's, oh, everyone, this is Daisy, new friend, packs quite a punch, as you saw. Bit more, portable than, old friend Alfie. And I'll pack her up and put her on my hip. Or on my backpack,
Daisy instinctively at Roulette's snap or command or whatever you choose to do, just folds up in on herself, transforming into a small item rather than a medium construct at that command.
Oh, nice to meet you, Daisy. And Jiri goes to like shake Daisy's hand.
She's asleep for the night.
Wait, wake up, Daisy. We didn't get to introduce. I gotta tell her my whole story.
I'll bring Daisy back up and toss her over to you.
I'm like trying to like get Loaf on my shoulder and like have him like stay there. And as I'm like trying to like fight him, like this little thing to stay there. Roulette, is that the same Alfie brain as the last one?
I mean, technically, yes. It's because Alfie's just an extension of me and my brain. So, yeah, it's same inner magical workings, just a different name and slightly different form.
So it's not like Alfie died.
No, Alfie, something like that can't really die. It's you just got to rebuild him, or her in this case. Roulette is another 3 inches off the ground.
Oh my god, I haven't even reacted to your boots yet. You react to everything though.
Daisy, if you're anything like Alfie, I think you're gonna be pretty cool. Alfie was the second coolest, then I got these really sick pair of boots, and then I became the second coolest in the party. So you're probably gonna be like 3rd place. That's pretty high though.
I'm certain that I would have, at least sentimentally, somewhere on Daisy's person, she will produce a small ring of rope to hand it over to Jiri.
Oh my gosh, you remember? Good idea. Let's get some practice in while Terperion's distracted by that loaf.
I think if you're Jiri's #1 coolest person in the group, you're doing something wrong.
You still don't even know who the coolest person in the group is. That makes
I just think, judging by your judgment, you're doing something wrong. You probably think it's Toby, don't you?
Nobody tell them.
Toby turns away from helping Rose.
The cleric's catching strays.
I broke concentration on guidance. I have to start again.
Oh man.
Yeah, all of these antics just happening in Rome is so in her element, deep concentration, and just you see glancing over, you see just like sort of specks of magic just drifting off her, and the tree in front of her has slowly become more and more dark brown rather than the black charcoal ashen form.
Wonder what Rome's friend's gonna be like.
I do want to just point out before time gets away from this moment, when you like Telperion's still holding a loaf like this, like trying to find the best way to like hold him. And when you say the word loaf, he like his head like flops over and his tongue pops out a little bit, and he just like stares at you when you say it.
This thing's name's Loaf, we're calling him?
No, I've got a cool Elvish name for him. It's gonna be like, I was trying to combine the like telekinetic.
Loaf.
No, I was thinking of like The word dagger, because he'll be like the sharp, cool little agile, like.
No.
No, it's not gonna be loaf.
Daisy vibrates and it goes.
And as I say, no, it's not going to be loaf. It like puts its head up and like looks at me and like cocks its head a little bit.
Looks like it already knows its name, brother.
I try to drop it and see if it'll fly.
It sort of like literally falls and then just like barely catches itself with its little wings, and it like is like falling back and forth as it tries to hover in place.
This is the caterpillar from A Bug's Life at the very end.
I am a beautiful butterfly.
Not that tone of voice. My familiar.
Someone can speak with animals.
Amazing. Yep, that's the you don't get to control a voice. I'm DM, so whenever you speak with animals,
I'll never get to talk to him now. Oh my god, maybe he's smart enough for me to telepath with.
Okay.
Minerva, Minerva, last thing is I don't know if Telperion filled you in on the whole Duke and Duchess list of characters that are involved in this, but there's some person of import in Duras, some Duke. He's likely a shape changer, and probably how he's infiltrated some meetings prior to this. I don't know if we'll be able to track him down or what, but something to keep an eye on.
Something in this situation I like to remind myself of is, even if it awards information when we wish it wouldn't, doing things in groups is now more valuable than ever. For example, I already have a number of my scribes on this very matter. They have been sent back to the Moonset Grove and will be researching into any reference to this Duke in Durastian history, or references to archdukes in the Hells that could be some tie or otherwise. Not sure what it will turn up, but even if there is an infiltrator in their midst, the others should act as a nice buffer to steer the effort in the correct direction, even if they're waylaid by misinformation. My point being is, as long as we surround ourselves by enough allies, an infiltrator can't throw us off the trail of what we're trying to accomplish here. They only have as much power as they can make use of or describe to their superiors, I imagine. One's capable of the actual action. I don't think they can summon an army into our midst. Or if they can, we have other things to worry about. But
if you've got folks going to research, I guess, names and histories and stuff, one more name to add to the list. My notebook, I literally looked up this name the other week, and I don't remember what page it is on, so I know the name. The long red-haired dude from Ostennis. I'm just gonna say his name. It was Artie or something, and I forget what his name was. Hold on.
The wizard?
No, the artifact collector from Ostennis.
The one whose museum.
So Damien Hart. Was a wizard, not long red hair. I think you're conflating Elise Ignoril, who is the captain of the Glass Guard, and the Queen's Noon was a woman, fire genasi woman with long red hair. Elise Ignoril was the Queen's Noon, where Dusk and Dawn were, she was the Queen's Dawn, where the Noon was Magnus, the Dusk was Kari. Damien Hart was a sort of artifact bounty hunter, where he takes commissions to go retrieve things for people. So Damien Hart is a half wood elven Irish dialect.
I think that's why I thought he was just a ginger.
That's funny. That's amazing.
Jesus Christ.
I'll just add that name as just a person of interest to check up on.
Okay, she will take note of his name and stature, and will she actually will know, because although they live in seclusion, the Ithilwinge still pay attention to worldly events, and she does recognize his name and say, oh, he's one of the 3 prominent wizards that actually has a tower in that capital. Now that you mention it, I wonder what's happened to their towers and what the wizards' status is. For they certainly wouldn't have stuck around to be conquered by an invading army. I will look into Damien Hart and the other wizards as well.
Perfect, thank you. Roulette's another 3 inches higher.
Perfect. And with that, she will go off her way. Kinsalo has been off his way. The sun is beginning to peek now through the treetops, which is not hard to do in the Barrens since there's such little leaf foliage available to block out the sunlight. It's very exposed sky. So rather actually beautiful skyscape right now as dawn approaches. Unless there's specific items to tackle, another couple hours into dawn and then into full morning, Rome's spell will complete. At which time, slowly over the course of these hours you've been casting it, and the now consumption of the glowing gemstone that has slowly been diminishing in size as you echo its worth into your magical potency for the awakening of this tree, it is consumed, and the bark of this tree has been replaced from ashen charcoal appearance to still dull but clearly living brown tree bark. What happens at the conclusion of this casting, Rome?
I would imagine that if the spell worked, that you would hear like a lot of cracking, like if the it kind of has like when you're throwing wood onto a fire or you're like snapping twigs, like it's like animating itself and like moving in more of an unnatural way, like a tree wouldn't necessarily move.
Yeah, you see its roots that had already seemed to recoil from the surrounding unnourishing terrain fully begin to crack and splinter and pull out of the earth, and you do feel like a little bit of a vibration, and you see its limbs begin to not droop per se, but relax, and then just sway in the breeze in a very comfortable way. And Rome, you have awakened a treant, a CR9 creature treant.
It moves in a sinusoidal fashion across the ground.
Just like
Its branches close together, and it does.
Final somatic portion of the spell.
And Rome's doing it too in response, like a greeting. That's how
Rome.
We all do
it. Does this treant regard you in any specific way? Can it speak? Can you speak to it? What do you intend to do with this tree that has been brought to life? Well, a more sentient life than it had.
I guess I'll attempt to speak to it. Great tree, welcome to this side of the material plane. It is my understanding you haven't necessarily been here since before now. Do you have a name, or can I bestow you with a name?
You see there's splits in its bark, and as they stretch and crack and close once more, it's almost like it has several vertical mouths that open just like a hair of an inch and then flex and then open again as it speaks in common to you.
The great fire scarred my memory of my name. Blessed Mythaline, who has once again restored my life, bequeath unto me a name of your choosing.
I give you the name Wild Sage Blossom.
Yes.
Indeed, that is my name. And
We
so
can call
shall
you
it be.
Sage for short.
Wild Sage Blossom.
Sage. Call upon this name when you need of my assistance. What will you have of me?
You will follow us into battle and aid us in our travels and defeat the evil that has scourged this land. so as to retake the forest from which you were once burned.
So it shall be done. Direct me in your warfare, and I shall assist you in toppling the structures of men.
And functionally, we will get into the specifics of warfare and units, but with the awakening of this treant, which can be assigned or attached to any unit that you guys are commanding, that unit will gain the siege capability, which will deal double damage to structures and situations like that where applicable. So you have essentially spent, functionally in a very mechanical way outside of RP, you've spent 1,000 gold to every warfare time you want to do, or other situations as appropriate. You can choose one unit that has this treant at its side, and that unit gains the siege feature, which could be very valuable in some of the warfaring efforts.
That's awesome.
Kinsalo will also fly up to you guys once more now that it is true morning and say, hey, Telperion, whenever you're ready, she's awake if you want to go speak with her today. And if you're not ready, I understand. And last night may have changed where you guys' heads are at, but...
No, let's do this now.
Very well. And if everyone will be willing to go along with this and be a little bit patient, I think we'll conclude today's session with a little bit of Telperion-centric interaction with an NPC that's meaningful to him. All of you are welcome to stay at his side and be there for this conversation. It doesn't have to just be him, but this will probably close out our duration of today's session doing this.
I have one thing that I want to say. I'm imagining
Sure.
Loaf doing. Loaf, Shaggy is like Loaf, or he like gets underneath Loaf and then starts to like go like compress. I don't know how to describe it, but like fold and then like spring open and is launching Loaf up into the air.
Amazing. Playing catch with a fucking stuffed animal.
Yeah.
Dude, and then Sage can take like a branch and like snag Loaf out of the
air.
Yeah, all of a sudden Loaf doesn't fall and you just see him dangling in a branch and you just hear a word call down.
Why do you torment this harmless creature? Carpet.
The carpet like crawls up all the branches and starts like licking the side of the face of the tree.
Out of it.
A natural creature, even if not of this world. Be as you were.
And we'll drop Loaf and the carpet will catch him.
I feel like Loaf's having a good time.
Dude, the name needs to say Loaf.
Telperion's like, oh man, laughing internally, but also like trying to figure out like what's the most dignified way to extract Loaf without looking like I'm coddling him. But then he's like coming up blank. He's also about to go meet this person. So he's like, but Mike Jacoby's all for this. Telperion will never be, but yeah. All right. Try to ground myself a little bit here.
Perfect. Kinsala will lead you to a tent tucked away into the heart of some of the bird folk encampments. And a very simple tent, but rather large compared to the rest of theirs. You also notice that some of their tents are not ground-based, but rather sort of intricately, due to leverage, sort of rooted up into trees that allow sort of platforms to be decorated onto trees. But this particular encampment is on the ground. And Kinsala will push open one of the flaps of the tent and allow you to follow him, as well as any of you that are there with Telperion. And you guys are welcome to enter.
Telperion makes it known to you guys that he would appreciate your company. He's not looking for loneliness or, being alone around that one. So unless anyone's going to stay there now, maybe they're just default with us.
I'm with you.
That sounds good.
And then, but yeah, we'll walk in.
Sounds good.
Amelia's stay outside though.
Sage also stays outside. Upon entering this larger tent, not as large as your royal family's tent, but larger than the surrounding Aarakocra's tents, you enter, and other than Kinsalo, there are just two Auracor spearcasters flanking a central large chair. They are dutifully at attention with their spears held in their hands. And in front of you, you see who you instinctively know is her, Oro Junequill. Massive eagle Aarakocra, even bigger than High Commander Rillis's larger than usual parrot form. But she has heavily grayed feathers in her plumage and dark, tired eyes. And she's slumped back into a sort of makeshift thatched chair that's suitable to support her size. And you're not surprised that this encampment is here on the ground rather than held aloft in a tree. You can tell that it takes her a great deal of effort to move in her old age, as even as she straightens her posture when you all enter, you sort of catch her arm quiver and her balance teeter for just a moment in spite of her clearly great strength. She regards you with her large avian eyes, which seem harsh if tired, and her very severe expression is only exaggerated by her broken, mangled lower beak, and a striking scar that stretches from the corner of her mouth down her neck and toward her shoulder. Telperion, this is retired Captain Junequill. She actually doesn't speak anymore. We do have a system for communicating with her, so she can still advise Commander Rillis and conversate with Korik and me occasionally, along with some other members of the Auracor versed in the communication style. But I told her that if you'd be willing to meet, you specifically might be able to communicate with her better than others.
I want to Toby, come here. And I very specifically take my quiver and hand it to you, and I take my slivers off my waist and hand it to you, and I hand my greatsword to you too. I'm just take those back to the entrance for me. And I'll walk over. And yeah, I'll give Kinsalo a nod, and then I'll kind of lean forward, and I want to kneel or sit or get eye level, and I'll say out loud, I wonder if you recognize me, but I'm Telperion, but let's continue this conversation without words from here. And I'll think to her. So right now, I'm putting my thoughts in your head, and you, with a little bit of effort, will be able to put thoughts directly into my head just for my ears.
At first you hear just muffled noise before they slowly become words in your mind as she adjusts her awareness to the sensation of doing this. And she says,
Telperion Runesong. Indeed, I do know you, though I do not recognize your face. Kinsalo seemed to think we should speak. Are there specific words you have for me? I am aware that I occupy some meaning to not only your history, but the history of the Selethar we have slain in the past.
I have... Speak very professionally. It's not my first thought when thinking of addressing you. So if you'll forgive my just just get straight to the point. I've thought many a time about what it would be like to kill you specifically. Back when I was with that fight, when my friend died, my powers were very limited. But I knew in the future, maybe if ever I could be a true Crescent Knight, I could fly and join you in the skies and then just kill you because of your arrows slaying him. And now I see, no disrespect intended, age has vanquished you, or I could not. But I do wish you to understand, it's not me seeing you now old and weaker than I thought you might be, that has made me put down that old wish. And I know Kinsalo is very important to your people, and I've actually wondered if you all would take it as some slight of violence, or me, the prince, trying to steal your special Avariel, because I care greatly for him. But yes, my association with him, I know I likely killed your kind in that skirmish too, and for so long I could only ever think of Doran's life ending. But I know there are people that you cared for that I killed, so I could wish no violence towards you, as I cannot heal those long slain. I know you could not heal those long slain. And so it's with some ironic sadness that I look at your hands now and think about these ones that have killed someone I loved. And I only wish for you safe passage when you start to move on.
She thinks to your mind. Outside of the conflict between our peoples, I find myself torn when remembering the day you speak of. I do not guilt myself or linger in the guilt of death at each other's hands, but I do guilt myself with every single death that day. Ithilwinge and birdfolk alike were specifically my fault in judgment. I do not apologize for my actions, but I apologize for what I failed to achieve. If you would, and sort of with large feathered hands, sort of
I cast Detect Thoughts on her.
You're able to cast Detect Thoughts, and you are immediately able to see the scene, the vision she is intending to recall for you. And you see Oro Junequill surrounded with many spearcasters 7 years ago. Oro Junequill looking much younger in her prime, as only 7 years was able to take her from 3/4 of her lifespan toward the end of her lifespan. And she and the spearcasters at her side are discussing the fact that they have identified the captain leading the efforts in this area of the forest, Vanya Duskveil. And they are discussing the fact that they would like to enact a particular strategy this day, and that although one death is no more or less tragic than the loss of another, she, as commander, is discussing and advising the spearcasters at her side that you must acknowledge, though, that the life of an elf and the death of an elf is inherently more disruptive to their culture than it is to ours. Even if they've lived many centuries, ending a single elven life robs them of many more centuries. longer than their avian minds can reasonably comprehend. And she says, "Do not mistake me. We will hold fast and fiercely defend these grounds, risking our already fleeting lives to protect our fragile homelands, lands that have disintegrated over the years. But remember the wisdom of Sirenita. In her infinite perspective above us all, she entrusted her fading essence to the elven goddess Airdrie, becoming a fusion Akkadi. Perhaps in order to restore Sirenita's power and free her into power again, we must limit the transgressions against the elves, even when conflict is unavoidable. Therefore, we are to take no lives here today, but one, their captain, Vanya Duskvale. She leads a contingent of Shade Devil recruits, and their resolve will surely crumble in the face of her defeat. By taking one life, perhaps we limit the amount of death here today." And then you see a snap to a different vision later in that day, as a group of spear casters and Oro with a great bow at her side that requires great strength to wield. All four of them identify Vanya and a group of Selethar darting and hopping through the trees and then eventually descending to ground level to investigate and pick up a plume of an Aarakocra feather. The spearcasters and Oro dive quickly, and you see from Oro's perspective her pull her great bow and loose. And the elf at Vanya's side, not looking at Oro's direction, instinctively reacts, inexplicably moving into position, a perfect position to shove Vanya out of the way in the very moment right before Oro's large arrow pierces his chest. And you see as Doran turns his head and looks right at you, through Oro's first-person memory, he sort of smiles with a defiant, arrogant confidence that the Aarakocra captain didn't get her way, and saves Vanya's life. And in this final moment, this smile, obviously it's a pride in saving his captain's life, but he's looking right at Oro through your vision into her perspective, and you naturally just want this moment to linger as he's looking at you, smiling for perhaps a final time. And this fleeting moment is interrupted by a flash of silver as Vanya rights herself and attacks Oro from the side, cleaving into Oro's beak and mouth with her blade. And conflict breaks loose as Birdfolk and Selethar scramble to defend themselves, injure each other, and the whole scene descending into chaos. A plan failed. The Detect Thoughts spell ends, and you're back in the room with Oro and Kinsalo. The ex-captain's holding her maimed jaw in sort of memory of that day, and she says to you, or thinks to you,
I failed as captain that day. I do not regret our intent to slay your captain, but I do regret our failure, for it seems to have caused the death of your friend, and a few of you, as well as our own. The mission was fumbled and cost more lives on both sides than anyone wanted. I also have reflected for 7 years on that battle, the moment of our failure, and I never did manage to understand how that warrior sensed my approach.
He wasn't especially good on his feet either. He was very proficient with the bow, but in a way, I'm very grateful that you invited to share his final moment with me, because there was certainly a look of triumph on his face when he passed. I appreciate you sharing it with me. Strange, though, how he did know somehow where you were.
It has lingered in my mind for years. And now we find ourselves united kin under this newly formed army. Strange. But know that the bird folk
will fiercely defend their home, as will, I'm sure, the Ithilwinge and the Beast Folk alike. United against a common enemy. I suspect this alliance, even if surprising, will be fiercely resolute. I tire, but thank you for being willing to speak with me today. I felt I needed to share that, my memory of that day.
I appreciate you sharing. And if we're here tomorrow, maybe I'll come by and say hello again. Must be nice to get to communicate so freely instead of through whatever means we've all devised.
Indeed. Perhaps I could enjoy the company.
And if there's anything you wish me to say that's more complicated than your means allow, I could relay information for you too. And certainly some company.
I appreciate the offer.
And I'll stand up and I feel like for anyone around, my expression would have been like happy, sad, and definitely like a huge smile at seeing the face Doran held, but like definitely wiping tears away as well. And I'll just say aloud to the spearcasters, Oro and I have agreed that maybe I shall come back tomorrow if we're still in camp, and shall visit for some time.
They look to her for approval, and she nods slowly.
And then we'll just
Very well. And as at your indication that you're ready to leave, Kinsala will thank you, Captain, and allow you to all pass before he follows you out. And I think we can maybe call the session there and then pick up with, hey, what are next steps along this day of prep before you need to venture back to Forest Hollow potentially for a warfare skirmish of some kind. So we can tackle that next time.
I will, super brief aside, Minerva would have noticed that I am now a foot off the ground when I'm talking to her at some point.
She will eagerly discuss with you, you were able to pull it off. Wait, if you're able, we make a good team. I think we should discuss some other items, and she will just want your company throughout the day doing certain things that she's interested in or helping you with.
Very specifically share, and this is mostly for you, that I modified her immovable object spell to harshly diminish the weight limit from like 1,000 pounds down to just like whatever my weight is, and I put it in the bottom of my boots so that when I like step up it releases, and then when I go to step down it locks it in place so that I can then like do this essentially, and I'm able to stand temporarily with a fly speed.
I'm so glad you have Minerva as a vehicle to have a person who's like gonna always ask those questions about the technical details. That's super perfect.
Yes.
Very, very cool. I also